All right, all right. Y'all know the drill. Where you from? Where you at? What are you doing? It's wild out here, man. Lots of things to discuss. I think there's a lot on everybody's mind. Let me post a link for the people on Twitter. Hold on, wait. There we go. Post a link for the people on Twitter. Want to join in the conversation? Esan, wish good, wish good, wish good, yo. Let me just post a link for the people on Twitter. Want to jump in? These late night boxing talks, talking about these late night boxing talks. Late night boxing talks starts now. David Diamante on YouTube, B. The late night starts now. Hey, what's goody? Jump Tube, post y'all flags. Where y'all from? Where y'all at? What y'all doing? Jump Tube, what's goody? Felipe, what's good? Arlette, all the way from Harlem. Rob in Queens. Dead Disney, you know what it is. Timmy Nealon from Ireland, what's good? Courtney, what's good? Sydney, Australia is in the building. For those that don't know, it's actually Thursday in Sydney. They're a little bit ahead of us. They have their time zone is ahead of ours up here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's actually Thursday afternoon over there. They're a couple of days ahead of us. Time zones, man. This is crazy. Late night boxing talks. Yeah, but I mean, I don't buy the arm injury stuff. Like, unless Anthony Joshua said that himself, I'm not gonna like get into it. And even if it came from him, I would still look at it like I look at any other thing that sounds like that after a fight. I don't be hearing it. Like after the fight, I don't even be wanting to hear it. You know what I mean? Late night boxing talks. Seattle was in the building. Yeah, see, it's Thursday in Sydney, Australia. Beautiful country, beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? PA is in the building, Harlem in the building, Alexis in the building from Washington Heights. Now, Alexis not even from Washington Heights, he from Harlem. I'll be wildin'. So, the first thing I want to get into before I open up the chat to the panel, before I open up the panel to the chat, I'm brain fart. First thing I'm gonna say is the fight definitely didn't go the way that I thought it would. My scoring, I definitely have to rethink and revise how it is I've scored things, even though I'm not completely off base because let me pull this up because this really caught my attention. I had Alexander Usyk up after 6 rounds. I actually got to see the judges' scorecards. Hold on, let me pull this up for y'all. I got to see the judges' scorecards, how they had it after 6. And Howard Foster, pardon me. I said Bob Foster. This dude really had AJ up 4 rounds after 6. He is wilding. I had the first 5 rounds. The first 5 rounds, I had AJ maybe winning the second round. I looked at the second round as a swing round. Whereas Howard Foster, he had Anthony Joshua winning the first. I didn't. I had Usyk winning the first round. I had Usyk winning the third round, the fourth round. I believe the fifth round as well. I mean, it's wild. And I highlight this because a lot of people like to act like scoring a fight is an exact science, and it really isn't. You know what I mean? It really isn't. It's not an exact science. Oftentimes there are trends and constants and common denominators with the judges that I look for. Is the fighter holding the center of the ring? Who's throwing more punches? Who's being backed into the ropes? Whose body language is a little bit more revealing? The funny thing about that fight is there were many moments in that fight where Anthony Joshua was actually holding the center of the ring. He wasn't getting backed off and he wasn't getting guided around, but he still looked distressed. He still looked perplexed and puzzled. So even though he was holding the center of the ring, it looked a different way to the judges. Talk about Campbell Hatton. I think I said all I had to say about Campbell Hatton in my I think I said all I had to say about Campbell Hatton, that they can't protect him forever. They should have let him take his loss because he'll learn more from that loss than he will being protected. They should have just let him take his L, absorb that, see what you did wrong, learn from it. If you keep not letting him suffer the consequences of what's going on, how is he supposed to improve? He's not paying the cost. He's not suffering the repercussions of and I didn't have him winning a round, to be completely honest with you. It was a 6-round fight. I didn't have him winning a round in that fight, not a single round. So that fight, for those that don't know, it wasn't judges that scored that fight. It was only the referee scoring that fight. So make of that what you will. Maybe, I don't know, from where he was sitting, it looked like Campbell was winning. I just know that from where I was sitting, looked like he lost every round. But it is what it is. Why in big fights you have to be scared of the judges' scorecards? Because that's just boxing, bro. The takeover moves more than a migrant Mexican. Yo, dog, talk about it. That they move in that fight again is like the ultimate joke, bro. It's just like, dog, like this can't be real. This is like a sitcom. This is like an episode of Seinfeld at this point. Julius, how would you see Usyk versus Fury going? Is the size difference too much for Usyk? I don't think so, because I just saw Usyk contend with the size of Anthony Joshua. So that tells me that the size won't be a problem. The main thing that Usyk would have to worry about with Tyson Fury is the switch hitting, because Tyson Fury can lead with his right and he can lead with his left in all likelihood. Against Alexander Usyk, he would make the adjustment that he made in the middle of the fight with Otto Wallin. He would switch off to southpaw so that he doesn't have to worry about having lead foot advantage. He doesn't have to worry about the straight left popping him in the face. He doesn't have to worry about being psyched out by Usyk's right hand. You know what I mean? So that would be the main thing that Fury has to worry about. Fury has a good gas tank. This is the truth. Fury has good fitness. He has a good gas tank. So, and Fury is a 12-round fighter. So Fury can lay into Usyk. He can lay into Usyk, use his size, use his power, clinch him, lean on him, make him tired. And it's not as dangerous for Tyson Fury to do that, because how many times have you ever seen Tyson Fury tired? How many times have you ever seen him tired in a fight? You got to give, you don't have to like his personality outside of the ring. You don't have to like that he contradicts himself and the cocaine and the nandrolone stuff. But as far as in the ring, when have you ever seen Tyson Fury tired? When? So he can be that big man and fight like that big man without fear of, oh shit, I'm a gas out. Oh man, I'm burning through too much energy. Unfortunately for Anthony Joshua, that is an issue. His gas tank is not the best. And that's why when I see so many people saying that he should give Usyk the bum's rush in a rematch, I really question that shit. Don't get me wrong. I think he needs to be more aggressive. I think he needs to focus on getting off first. He's going to have to risk things. But I think in the rematch, the focus has to be get off and get off first. Forget about fencing with him. Forget about, trying to get lead foot advantage. Forget about trying to set up the right hand, because you've got tells. And he can see them. He's reading them. You got to go for the gusto, but you have to do it in a way that's not wasteful. Step into your jab, bring over the right hand. Even if you know it's not going to land on him, land on his arms, get his respect. What I noticed in the fight, the first power shot that landed was a lead left hand. And obviously, I got my prediction wrong, because I predicted that Anthony Joshua would win. But one thing I was right about is that that's Usyk's money punch, the lead left hand. He's going to psych you out, he's going to get you worrying about the right hand, and the whole time you're not going to see that left coming. And that's what he was doing to Anthony Joshua. He's not like if you watch the fight, Usyk is not committing to his jab. It's not 1-2. No, he's just psyching him out, doing different shit with the right hand, and pop, left hand. Doing different shit with the right hand, moving around, psyching him out, staying off the line, pop with the left, with the straight left hand. Shout out to Vladi, who says Fury would have an answer to anything Usyk can muster. Usyk might have speed advantage on Tyson. Yeah, but the angles wouldn't bother The angles definitely wouldn't be an issue for Tyson Fury the way they were an issue for Anthony Joshua. In every image, and I'm about to pull it up, in every image that you see of Usyk connecting with a shot, let me put it on the screen. In every image you see of Usyk connecting with a shot, you'll notice that his lead foot, his right foot, which is his lead foot because he's a southpaw, it's always on the outside of Anthony Joshua's lead foot. Any image I show you, you'll see that Usyk had lead foot advantage. And what that means is that he stayed in line at an angle to land the straight left hand. Anytime you see that, he's in line to get off his power shot. And for him to do that against a guy that is so big and hits so hard, that's really something. That's really something because he had a height. He was at a disadvantage in height, a disadvantage in weight, 20-pound weight disadvantage, but he still managed to get lead foot advantage against a taller fighter, a longer fighter, and a stronger fighter. So it's kind of hard to it's like everybody's trying to say that Anthony Joshua is not good because he lost that fight, and that's the wrong way to look at it. It's not that the dude's not good, it's that Usyk is great. There's no other way to put it. That dude is just something else, man. Back to the point. Everybody's trying to make it an indictment against Anthony Joshua, and anybody familiar with the sport knew that this is a potential banana skin, that this is a fight that he could lose. Everybody knew that going in. I saw that there was some casual boxing writer or sports writer in USA Today that he tried to ask who is Alexander Usyk. Bro, if you don't know who that guy is, that just tells me you don't even watch boxing, so why are you writing about it? Why are you writing about boxing if you don't even know who Usyk is? How you not going to know he's the last undisputed cruiserweight champion? If you don't know these things, what qualifies you to give any anecdotes and any takes on a sport you don't even watch? This is how mediocre the boxing scene has become in America. You got guys that literally don't even really watch this shit like that, and they're paying them to write about it. These days, it's up to guys like me and other fight fans to keep up with the sport in a way that these pundits don't, to give you a more accurate depiction of what's going on. And no, that fight should not be viewed as an indictment against Anthony Joshua, because it's not that Joshua is a bad fighter, it's that Usyk is a very, very good fighter. And only boxing heads is going to understand why. Only a boxing head to tell you what lead foot advantage is. Only a boxing head to tell you why a southpaw has an advantage and can make things hard for an orthodox fighter. Only a boxing head to tell you that. Joe Blow, that occasionally writes boxing stories at the New York Post, he not gonna know what the fuck we talking about. Marcel was good. Leo was good. Willie Lynch was good. James Jackson. Ow! I definitely think that Anthony Joshua fought the wrong fight. But what needs to be said is that there are not very many ways to fight the right fight. What is the right fight for a fighter that's undefeated? What's the right fight? You know what I mean? What's the right fight for a fighter that's never lost? For a fighter that's won every single world title he's ever won on the road in the other guy's backyard, winning decisions in hostile territory in the other guy's backyard. For all the critical people that think they know boxing, what's the right fight? What's the right fight? What would have been the right fight? There's a lot of people saying, oh, well, he should have just fought like a heavyweight. Use his size, use his power. That's a very generic answer to a very complicated question, because Chisora tried to do that. It didn't work. So that can't be the answer. I believe that what Anthony Joshua has to do is find a happy medium, but stay the aggressor. Don't be wasteful with your punches. Don't be wasteful with your energy, but be the aggressor. Hit him hard. Hit him on the arms. Step into your jab. Bring over that right hand. Even if you know he's going to block it, bring it over so that he feel that heavyweight power, because that's what he's not used to. He's not used to being hit by a full-blown heavyweight. But boxing a guy, fencing a guy with your jab and his jab and your jab, and you're trying to get lead foot advantage, and so is he, and he's used to all of that shit. He's seen all of that shit before. I honestly expected Anthony Joshua to jab at his chest more. You know, there's a go-to, for lack of a better word. If the guy's always moving his head, and you can't catch him there, aim at his chest. If you can touch him on the chest, you can bring over that right hand. I've heard guys say that before. That guy's head, he keeps it off the line. You can't really hit him because he's moving his head. How do you get him? Jab at his chest, and jab at his body, and don't just jab, don't just headhunt. And it felt like he was kind of headhunting in there. It felt like every time the jabs you trying to land is all head punches. What about jabbing at his chest? What about jabbing at his guard? Jabbing at his glove? What about jabbing at his midsection? One thing that really threw me off is when Anthony Joshua fought Alexander Povetkin, he touched him to the body early in the fight. He wasn't headhunting. He knew this guy, he likes to move side to side, stay off the line to come up with a hook. So what he did was he changed levels, got low, jabbed to the guy's body, and he was jabbing at Alexander's body. He wasn't just aiming for his head. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to do that with Usyk, but he didn't do that. The U.S. press has been ignoring boxing for a long time now. When Roman Gonzalez fought Juan Estrada in Los Angeles, it wasn't even yeah, man. That goes back to the thing I said before, that because boxing is not a mainstream sport in this country the way that it used to be in previous eras, the major networks and the major news outlets, they don't even give it the time and attention that they used to. So they leave it to freelancers to cover the sport. And the problem with freelancers covering the sport is if they ask the hard questions, they might get frozen out. Maybe they don't get press passes to the next fight. Maybe they say, hey, that's that motherfucker that asked that slick shit the last time. Nah, don't let him in here. That's the problem. And that's why a lot of times the hard questions don't get asked. If you on ESPN or you on Fox and you got a person sitting opposite of you, that they money come from Fox. They money don't come from posting a video on YouTube and getting clicks. They money don't come from going to an event and trying to post things about the event. They money come from the network. They can afford to ask you all the hard questions they can because you can't do nothing to them. You can't stop them. You can't freeze me out. I work for Fox. You can't freeze me out. I work for ESPN. My money don't come from you. AJ was throwing pity pat punches in there. Yeah, he was fencing. He was fencing. He go back and watch it. Just go back. He was fencing with his jab. He was fencing his jab with Alexander's jab, trying to get lead foot advantage. He got to skip that. You tried it, trial and error. It didn't work. You tried it. So what you got to do now is, fight like a heavyweight. Fight like a heavyweight, because that's what he ain't used to. He not used to men 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 2 and change, 250, 260, trying to maul him and dog him and come after him. Instead of worrying about setting up a right hand, just come in with a high guard, catch and shoot. Forget about setting up punches. Forget about the 1-2. Forget about the jab right hand. Tower over this guy, high guard, catch the shots on the gloves, look to get close to him and land the uppercut. Look to get close to him and land the left hook to the body. He ain't going to like it. It's not impossible for him to win the fight. It's just difficult. It's very difficult. And I reiterate, it ain't because he's a bad fighter. It's because Usyk's a great fighter. Who the fuck got a record like that? Who record is like that? You won every belt at cruiserweight, on the road. Sometimes it was decisions in the other dude's backyard. It's too easy to get robbed these days. I'm going on foreign soil. But that's all he did. And that's all he been doing for years. When the last time that man fought in the Ukraine? 2015. Motherfucking Glavatsky, Poland. Maris Briedis, Latvia. Gassiev, Russia. Tony Bellew, UK. Derek Chisora, UK. Anthony Joshua, UK. It's insane, bro. Like, you just don't see that. It's too easy. Like, look, Liam Smith went to Russia to fight Kurbanov. Ain't he get robbed? Ain't he get robbed? The kid Martinez that fought Campbell Hatton this weekend, he from Spain. He went to the UK. Ain't he get robbed? It's too easy to get robbed. Shout out to Willie Lynch, who says, the boxer's kryptonite is not heavy hitters, it's boxer brawlers. Ken Norton versus Ali, Gene Fulmer versus Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta versus Sugar Ray Robinson, Harry Greb versus Gene Tooney. It's like the puzzle of it is AJ don't have the gas tank for a sustained attack to come out round after round and expend that energy, throwing heavy shots. Some of them you're going to miss, and y'all know what the rule is. You burn twice as much energy missing a punch than if you actually hit something, right? He don't got the gas tank for that sustained attack. That's unfortunate for him because he's a bigger puncher than Fury. He is a bigger puncher than Fury, and he is one of the bigger punchers in the division. Most people forget most of his fights that he won by way of knockout. But he comes out doing that, and he'll burn through his energy reserves. So he's got to find a happy medium to get off power shots, be the busier guy, land the eye-catching punches, and make it the way Usyk don't want to throw, which once again is very difficult. If it were easy to do, somebody would have beat him by now. If it were easy. It's not easy, and it's not easy because that's a good fucking fighter. That's the shit that a good fighter how you doing. That's the shit. That's the position that a good fighter will put you in. Ali was more pure boxer. Ken was more boxer puncher. But also, we can't forget that when Ali fought Ken Norton, there was slippage. You know, like, and there's no shame in saying that, but there was slippage by the time he fought Ken Norton. There was slippage by that time. I feel like AJ has, you know what? I kind of agree with you, Marcel, because even when he did throw the right hand, it kind of felt like he pulled it, like he wanted to get that right hand to the back of to the side of his face to protect his face. It didn't feel like it was spiteful. Didn't feel like it was a lot of authority on it. Like he was throwing it because I'm trying to knock you out with it. It wasn't that kind of right hand. It was a responsive right hand. And for that, it's not that that's a bad idea. It's that, you know what? He's a southpaw. What's the southpaw killer? The straight right hand. Instead of trying to set it up, maybe catch and shoot. Maybe just try to get him focusing on your left and focusing on that and fencing and all of that. And you shoot the lead left because lead right because he was shooting lead lefts. You know what I mean? Every left hand, every straight that he threw, he didn't always 1-2. Nah, he'll just be doing this bullshit and then stick it out there. I think AJ got to try that. Like, you know what? Mirror him. But don't box him, just mirror him. He lets go of a lead left, you let go of a lead left. If he tries to jab at, if he's jabbing at you and doing all that bullshit, let go of that counter right. Let that go. Let go of that counter left hook to the body, because I don't think he can take it. I really don't think he can take it. Not if it lands clean. Surprised AJ didn't get some ASAP. What? You and me both. Now I'm gonna open up the chat to the panel and get some different takes on here as far as what people think he needs to do differently in a rematch, and just, you know, because we all got bright ideas at the end of the day. We all got bright ideas, but he the one that got to go in there and do it. Hopefully AJ watches the relay so he could get these juicy boxing knowledges. You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna need them shits. And I'm just playing. Let me stop playing. Oh man, I don't like how they treat that kid though, man. That kid is he's a good sportsman. He's a good ambassador for the sport. He's been very good for boxing in the United Kingdom. He helped to get that boxing scene to flourish so that as soon as he lose, everybody shit on him. It's not right. It's disgusting is what it is. It's disgusting. Eson, hold on. I see you, Eson. Let me click the shit. I don't know what's going on with your joint. I'm trying to click. All right, but
you hear me?
AJ needs to impose himself and be the bigger man. I agree.
Can you hear me?
I agree. All right, Eson, how does AJ win this rematch, man? What he got to do, dog?
Wait, I'm just making sure. Can you hear me?
I don't hear nothing.
Damn it.
I don't hear nothing.
How about now?
Is he talking? Because I can't hear him.
You.
If he talking, I can't hear him. Let me find out my joint on the fritz again tonight. See my joint on the fritz again. It always does this to me. Give me a second. Just y'all bear with me. It always does this shit to me. I don't know why it be doing this shit to me. Let me see. Hold up. 1 second. I'm gonna go to. All right,
Hear
yo,
me?
yo. All right, hold on. Let me just. I'm on my Let me reboot the bullshit, and I'm gonna let everybody chime in on Let everybody chime in on these boxing talks. Add stream. Add to stream. Add to stream. All right, bet. So I'm gonna start off with Eson. Eson, what does what can Anthony Joshua's do to win this rematches?
Uh, I mean, I'm not sure if he can do it, but he's gonna need to, like you said, be first. He can't wait around for Usyk because when you do that, you're gonna start getting tagged, and then you become kind of stationary. Like there were times in that fight he was bouncing, but he wasn't really doing anything. You could tell he was falling for Usyk's feints, and Usyk couldn't miss with the straight left too. Like he just couldn't make the adjustment. He made an adjustment for like 2 rounds midway through the fight, but
Mm-hmm.
after that, Usyk just took right back over. Like he hit like everybody was saying, Usyk has the ability to hit another gear, but they weren't sure if he could do it. He did it, and you could tell he just pulled away over the like second half of the fight. So he's gonna need to be more aggressive, but at the same time, his gas tank won't allow him to just go in there and try to steamroll him. Because if you remember in the Klitschko fight, the round that AJ came out guns blazing when he first got Klitschko down, the second half of that fight he gets tagged because because he's not moving because he's so tired after all the flurries, and then he's over here damn near getting dropped at the end of the round. So I
Yeah, I
don't.
mean he doesn't have the gas tank for it. I think that's the fundamental problem that prevents him
Yeah,
from
that's the root of.
fighting the fight that he needs to fight. Because when it's Fury, if we think about Fury, Fury could put on a sustained attack for 12 rounds. Like we seen that. We seen that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take it to Sancho. Sancho, what does Anthony Joshua's has to do's to win this rematches?
What's up, fellas? Jules, he can't do nothing to win this rematch unless he sits down with himself and like, look, I got about 6, 7 rounds of energy to get him out of there. If I don't get him out of there and within 7, 8 rounds, I'm done
I dig it.
because he can't. He people are saying in the comment section he needs to fight Usyk like Tio fought Loma. Anthony Joshua is not the athlete Teofimo Lopez is. He
That's a
can't
fair
move.
point.
He can't move around and be fleet of foot and nimble and quick enough to time Usyk the way Tio was timing Loma. So athletically, he's not gifted to move around and move his hip. Look at AJ's hips. He's stiff. He doesn't move fluidly.
Well, I'm gonna say this. This what I'm gonna say, right? Because I don't. It's to me, it's not even an indictment on him. It's that look. The dude is 6'6" and he kluggy, right? Whereas Usyk, for this heavyweight era, he low key compact, like he littler than most of them. So he got a speed advantage in his hands and his feet and his torso and his hips. None of them really got it. The only one that really kind of has it is Fury, but that's because he's a fucking freak. Other than that, nobody else really got it. So the pivots, the shifts, the angles, forget it. You're not gonna be able to keep up with him doing that shit. Your best bet is not but I don't want to say that neither because it's like, bro, if you go after this dude and you try to lay into this dude, you really try to get at him, get at him. You're gonna burn through your gas tank, so you got to make sure you knock him out. And he
Yeah.
ain't never been knocked out. So
No, Jules, it goes back to the thing like there's no blueprint for Usyk professionally. The amateurs don't count. Yeah, he has the man hasn't
Yes, it
lost
is.
in 10 years.
Yes, it is.
all
The
right,
man
Leo. Leo with the. Let me read the super chat, then we gotta pass it to Leo. AJ got to pull a Canelo hike. Yes, that much I agree. He need to bring out the high guard. Stop jabbing with this dude because his jab is superior to yours. Don't jab with him. Bring out the high guard. Counter right hand. Leo, how does AJ win this fight?
He needs to start using pets right now because look, Tony Bellew came closer than anyone in the professional realm to beat Usyk. And how he did that? Okay, how I explain my take. He needs to line Usyk to the straight right. Now, how Tony Value did that in their fight? He moved a lot.
Yeah.
He moved a lot. So evade him, and at such point, even in the ropes, even in the corner, to make Usyk go with a southpaw jab to counter him with a straight right. But
Right.
doing that for 12 rounds, I don't know.
Listen, man.
I don't know if AJ can do because that is the only way I see AJ winning that fight, and not even by knockout
Listen, man.
because
Listen, man. I think that what he got to do, a part of it, is what you saying. You gonna have to bait him. That means you got to eat shots. You got to eat jabs, but you got to let that jab go to where you could get come. At least you could figure, and even that's hard to do because Usyk don't have tells, bro. He don't have tells. Try to get him the jab so you could counter with the right. Forget about setting up the right. Forget about the jab right hand. That shit is not gonna work. You this 1-2 shit, it ain't gonna work. Cause he ain't no slow ass heavyweight. You gotta just let the right hand go. Skip the foreplay. Go straight to the main course.
Jules, real quick, we're asking, in all honesty, we're asking AJ to do things he's never displayed the capabilities of doing at
That's
all.
a fair point. That's a
We're
fair
asking him to realize, look, okay, I got to let Usyk hit me with a quick 1-2, stay in the pocket, let him hit me, and then bam, I catch him. Usyk's too smart for that. Usyk is like a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. He admits to studying without fucking breaks to see his opponent's tells. You're not gonna catch it. You're not gonna outbox a master fucking boxer that hasn't lost in 10 years. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, you can't look a dude like that, right? You can't outthink him because you just tried and it ain't work. But the thing about that strategy is you throwing caution to win. Because what does he want? He wants to hit you. So what if you let him? What if you let him? Like, all right, I'll take your pity pat jab so I can punch you in your fucking face. Feel me? Because that's what Chisora was doing. Chisora ain't going there trying to fence this guy, and he was having success. But the reason that's kind of the reason that's kind of not a good idea for eight is because of the gas tank, bro. When you get at him, you got to make sure that you get him. Because if you don't, he's gonna tee off on you. You can't afford to get tired in round 6 and 7 because he'll take you out. What I saw, yo, he could have knocked him out in that 12th round, B.
Yeah.
He could have.
And the reason Bellew was able to do that because Bellew he's not the greatest athlete, but he's a better athlete than AJ.
I agree with that. At least it's not that he's better so much as Bellew is not even like Bellew. Remember, Bellew moved up to cruiserweight. He didn't debut the cruiserweight. He used to fight, I think, all the way down in 168, I think. So he's still a smaller man than Anthony Joshua, still a quicker man than Anthony Joshua, still has mobility. The guy that is 6'6", 240, he just not gonna have that. He just can't move that way. There was a tweet I seen from a dude, he's a pastor that used to box or whatever, and he said the best. You not gonna outbox this man because that's what he do. He used to that. You know what he not used to? A 250-pound man punching him in his face. He not used to that. So that's what you got to do. You got to get at him like a heavyweight. It's just easier said than done. Because a heavyweight will get tired before he get tired.
Yeah, I just don't see how you beat a guy that hasn't lost in 10 years or hasn't lost professionally when you
I'm a, I'm
can't.
I'm gonna
What do
take
you
it
think?
to I'm gonna take it to Midwest. Midwest. How can Anthony Joshua's win his matches?
To be honest, man, I like AJ a lot, but I don't know if he can. Like, it's a few things he got to do. Like, I agree when you say you got to hit this man in any openings he give you, whether that's arms, hips, chest, body shots. You got to kind of do like how Canelo was doing Smith, like swing at the arms, swing at the hips, and stuff like that. And I think he got to stay on the front foot. And to be honest, if he do all that, he may still have to rob him on the cards.
Yeah, that like that's real shit. Like I feel like he might have to employ Marciano's strategy. Marciano was nowhere near as big as Anthony Joshua, so that has its role to play. But Marciano used to punch guys on their arms on purpose to fuck their guard up. He'll punch on your arms just to fuck your guard up. Like after a couple of rounds, you ain't even gonna be able to lift your arms up. The problem with that strategy is that's the strategy of a 15-round fighter. He was a knockout artist, yeah, but they put 50 rounders back then.
You said it right there, Jules. You were like, I love AJ. He takes the risk, but we're asking him to do shit like Duran did with Leonard. Duran is one of them fighters. Like he likes to get hit. He likes the feeling of combat. AJ don't like the feeling of combat. He likes he's a competitor, but the actual like, oh, this motherfucker hit me with his best shot. I felt that. Okay, let's go, bitch. What's up? AJ's not wired like, okay, let's go to battle. Like I know I'm like those guys like Usyk, all the greats, they crave that feeling of it's not a fight till this fool hits me and I get hurt. And then I see what I'm really made of.
Mm. And I think Ruiz and a lot of people have said this to the point to where it's almost a cliche. But what happened in the Ruiz fight has made him a little bit gun shy to go for the gusto. Like, yeah, he knocked out Pulev, but Pulev ain't Usyk, obviously. If you want to get this guy, you're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna really have to go for the gusto. And it's like, dog, as long as you gunshot, you might, and I'll go ahead and say it, you might have to skip the rematch. You might, because a lot of people are pressuring him into thinking that he got to run it back. Lennox didn't run that back with no fucking McCall straight away. He didn't fight that man for 3 years. He didn't get that back till 97. McCall beat him in 94. You might have to just say, look, man, the better man won, and I need to structure some things. Because it's like I'm trying to figure like how the fuck do you do this, dog? Even in February or March. It's as simple as, oh, I'm gonna just do this and I'm gonna do like, nah, bro, you might have to let him have that. Right. Yeah, he's just better than I am. It is what it is.
AJ needs to get out of that camp. He needs to call up Buddy McGirt, call up Ronnie Shields, call up and go on a rebuilding tour. It's okay to take a year, take 2-3 more fights with a new style, get a sports psychologist, get out of your comfort zone.
I think
That's a
he
lot.
needs Salas. I think he needs
The way
Shields.
LeBron got a sports psychologist when he left Cleveland to go to Miami and do like it's okay to have that get your mental clarity and figure out why when attrition really hits you, you get gun shy.
Yeah. And as far as like, I don't want to be one of these guys that the second something go back, because Rob McCracken has done a good job with this fighter for what it's worth. I think he's done a good job, but it's not an indictment against McCracken to say that you've reached a point where you need something else and you need something new. You've reached that point. Like Callum Smith, he just recently left Joe Gallagher, and Joe got him to the title, man. Joe got him the title, but it's time for something different. He went to McGirt. I think I don't know that he should just sack McCracken. Like, oh, I'm gonna just get rid of him. I don't know if you should do that, but you could have Ismail Salas for a second opinion. You could have Buddy McGirt for a second opinion, because the way you looked out there, you look confused out there, bro. You don't got no answers for this guy.
And then that's okay. I agree with you right there. He could have an outside eye, but it's just like even in the trainers ranks, there's a hierarchy. There's the Phil Jacksons, there's the Bill Belichick's, like, and his guy ain't that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So it's okay to get an outside perspective, go out of your comfort zone. And to equate it to like MMA, that's why certain fighters do well, because they're getting their ass kicked with tough trainers and tough camps. Like boxers get in their zone with their camp and their crew, and no one ever challenges the big dog, even the trainer. Like make him do like AJ's got to be uncomfortable in training camps now, getting his ass kicked by southpaws and learning how to react when, like, damn, I'm not at the advantage. What do I do? What do I do? That's got to be
And how do you spar for an Usyk? How do you spar for an Usyk when you don't there's
that's the thing.
southpaws all over the place. There's Charles Martins all over the place, but that ain't Usyk.
The
Yeah.
closest he can get probably is Michael Hunter or Tabiti, but then that's still not enough. And I'm not even sure if they southpaws.
I mean, he could get. I mean, Michael Hunter. Like, I would get Michael Hunter because he's small and athletic. I don't think he's a southpaw, but he's small and athletic, and you need that. You need a small target that can move because that's what you're up against. You're up against a very small target that can move. Michael Hunter is that, so I would get him, but it's not as simple as that. Like, look, he beat Michael Hunter, so think about it. I'm gonna get the guy that he beat to help me beat him. That's Malik Scotch and Deontay Wilder. Shit,
Okay,
wow.
but look, um, like Canelo said before, after the Billy Joe Sanders, Canelo says, "I train for the fight, I prepare for the fight, but the game plan comes from my trainer." Can we say AJ's trainer came with the wrong game plan?
You could say that, brother, but I think what people don't understand about Usyk, when you could do a deep dive into like Usyk's history, like the man used to be in plays and theater. Usyk is fully present in the ring with you, so he is gonna dictate how he fights with what you're giving him, and he's gonna move accordingly. The way Usyk processes information is faster than AJ. Like, you know how they say quarterbacks process fast. Nobody in the heavyweight game right now can process the computer in their brain better than Usyk.
Look,
Yeah,
look.
but that is why you need a
Sancho,
trainer.
Sancho know what I'm about to say, and he gonna know exactly what I'm about to say because that's how fast we is. He's a fucking Capricorn, bro. And if you a Capricorn, you know exactly what the fuck that mean. That mean that I done thought about this shit 1,000 times before the night. I done been thinking about this shit.
Like Doctor Strange, and whatever you do, I've already seen it. So okay, that's what you're going with. And guys, a man that shares the birthday with Muhammad Ali is not gonna lose.
Bro.
Sorry, when he's in his prime.
Look. I feel bad because I doubted my Capricorn brother. I'm like, bro, I'm a little bit too cynical to believe that he's gonna have this monumental victory. Even though I knew it was a potential banana skin, I still thought like, nah, B, this shit too sweet, B. Like it ain't gonna happen. And look, Josh Taylor, Capricorn, Usyk, Capricorn, Trinidad, Capricorn. It ain't. I'm trying to tell y'all something.
And
Hopkins,
you know what
Capricorn,
else though too?
Frazier, Capricorn.
If I
Tell
would
y'all
have known
something, man.
if I would have known this information, I would have put money on the fight. The man won the fight on his motherfucking 10-year wedding anniversary.
Bruh.
Like if you're not that shit's crazy.
I'm gonna let Jeremy in on the chitty chat. First, let me read the super chat. Shout out to Jaime Nieto who says, "Seems like ever since the Andy KO, Joshua is hesitant to let his hands go," which I agree with. I do agree with that because even if I didn't see it in the Pulev fight, I definitely saw it this weekend. People acting like he lost to a bum. Usyk is yo, thank you, because that's the same shit I'm saying. Like, motherfuckers shouldn't act like he lost to. This ain't Leon Spinks or something like that. It ain't a situation like that. This is like, yo, this dude is good, bro. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He competed at the highest levels as an amateur, the highest levels as a professional cruiserweight. It's not an indictment on him that you lose to somebody like that. Like, he's a good fucking fighter, bro.
If Usyk was American with these credentials, he'd be bigger than Conor McGregor.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
Ain't that the truth? All right, Jeremy, I gotta ask you, what can Anthony Joshua's do to win this rematches?
I think he needs to pay the judges. No, but on a serious note, I think on a serious note, I really don't know, because how do I say this to you? I guess in order for him to at least neutralize a bit of Usyk's movement, he would need to learn how to move to the left, because a southpaw, his lead foot right side of the lead foot of the right of the orthodox fighter. So in order to neutralize a bit of his movement, I think he should move to the left laterally, and that could neutralize some of his like natural like how do I say abilities to that could I don't know. It could neutralize Usyk a little bit, but when it comes to the punches, I don't know. I'm not clear on that because
When it comes to the punches, he's got to throw. He can't
following with
throw.
his jab all night, and he was touching him up with his left all
He has
night.
to throw. He has to throw. He has to throw not where Usyk is, but where he thinks he's gonna be, and he has to get him over there. He has to try to guide him over there, not with punches. And once again, we're thinking too much because, for all we know, that's probably what he was trying to do, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
For all
Yeah.
we know, like he was probably trying to do that. Like, man, I'm trying to get this guy to go over here, but he keep fucking going over there. So it's like,
Yeah,
yo, maybe you just need to, get at him, B. Get at him, fuck it.
yeah.
If you
He,
get knocked
hey,
out,
I was just gonna say if he's not wired like that. He's a gentleman, but if he fought him like Salido fought Loma that first fight, and if you get and just pray you don't get DQ'd.
yeah. Because look, and a lot of motherfuckers cry about the nut shots. I dig it. Like, look, I
It's a
completely
fucking
dig it.
fight. I don't give a fuck.
No, you know what? You know why I say? Because if you tell me, if I notice, like, for example, a lot of people that's in love with Josh Taylor right now, right? I love Josh Taylor, right? But that shit he got away with at the Hydro with Ryan Martin, bro, those was rabbit punches, bro. That's what that was. The reason I don't cry about it is because it was Sancho. It's a fight, bro. If the ref don't say nothing, here comes another one. Here comes another one. Evander Holyfield, he used to do the slick shit. He'd dip down and come up with his head and then punch you right in the same spot he just hit you with his head with. It's like, it's a
Anybody,
fight, bro.
anybody that's been in the gym knows, like, okay, you the ref ain't doing nothing. Okay, I'm gonna hit that motherfucker the same way.
Real
If that's
shit.
what
Like,
we doing,
Yeah.
that's what we doing.
go ahead, Leo.
You hit me in the nuts. I'm gonna fucking headbutt you. Now what?
Yeah.
People acting like every all-time great has some dirty trick on his to use against the opponent. Floyd Mayweather,
Elbow.
Canelo Alvarez, the elbow, Gennady Golovkin using his head and leading with an uppercut. All these guys, all of them. See, if AJ wants to fight like a gentleman, okay, right? No, I don't know if you. I don't know if I can beat Usyk. He brings too much to the table. I personally underestimate him. I
Look.
saw the fight
Look,
way
AJ
wide for Usyk.
AJ needs to take 2 weeks to go back to the streets of Watford, pee in some elevators, pee between some cars. You know what I'm saying? Fuck a couple of broads, do some wild shit, right? Get back to the streets and remember what a fight feel like. Because you don't box the boxer, you fight the boxer and you box the fighter. You punch the boxer and you box the puncher. You went in there and tried to box the boxer, and we see what happened.
And
Yeah.
Usyk said something very interesting. Usyk knows how to box beautifully, but the motherfucker's from the Eastern Bloc, Ukraine. He likes to fight.
Yeah.
And like he said, my trainers told me to calm the fuck down. AJ has to bring that dog out of Usyk to want to go toe to toe, because Usyk's shown that he'll do that from time to time if you get that part of him.
I'll say this.
And Usyk is not scared of the power.
Well, no. This is the thing. This is no. I'm gonna tell you why, Leo. I'm gonna tell you why. And Usyk himself said it before the fight. What happens in the first round is likely how the rest of the fight is gonna go. In the first round, the first power punch that got thrown and landed was a straight left. That told you right there. Oh, so you just gonna let me hit you with my power shot? You really just gonna let me sit here and hit you with my backhand? I dig it. You're not giving me nothing to worry about because you scared to let your right hand go. You should have came after me after that. I just popped you in your face and snapped your head back with my backhand, and you ain't come back at me crazy. I dig it. I got you.
I did that within 65 seconds of the fight.
He gotta get on some dog shit. Be like, look, man.
That's where you know Usyk's more dog than boxer.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a
because
beautiful boxer. He's
yeah,
more
like
dog than boxer. He went straight like this is my fucking
listen,
shot at
listen,
this is
he
my
more
tickets.
dog than Loma. He more dog than
Yeah, he
Loma.
is. This
Yeah.
was
He more
Usyk's.
dog than
Usyk knew
Loma.
I'm gonna punch my Hall of Fame ticket right here. I'm going ball right within the first 90 seconds. Bam, let's go.
They ain't processed it yet, Sancho. This dude ticket is punched. It's that's it.
Yeah.
He's special. The man doesn't need no Kenny Bayless. I don't need Ivy. I don't need no advantage. I
Listen,
just need you in the fucking ring.
he's a Capricorn, bro.
They
Like
don't Usyk,
motherfuckers really think I'm playing when I say that because they don't know what it. He's a
bro,
Capricorn, bro.
bro. Usyk can win in any era. You put him in
Listen,
any era, he's
Gu-
50-50.
Guys,
Mike.
do you remember when AJ punched with that huge right and he wobbled Usyk a little bit?
Yep.
Usyk planted his feet and looked AJ straight to the eyes. AJ
Because
did
Usyk,
nothing.
you know why? Usyk, this is and motherfuckers gonna think this is a cliche, but this is literally why. Usyk went in there with the understanding I might get knocked out. I'm good. And AJ is not he not there with it. They're like, yo, look, dog, I might get knocked out, but I'm gonna go for it though. Usyk because he the little dude in the fight. He the little dude in the fight. Because he know power is not on my side, size is not on my side. Hell, the goddamn crowd ain't even on my side. Everything is against me. But I'm used to this. Everywhere I go, I'm used to this. I went to Latvia for Breeders. I went to Russia for Gassiev. I went to Poland for Glavatsky. I went to the UK for Tony Bellew. And I'm here in the UK now for you. Right?
Jules,
I'm
I'm
here,
gonna
B.
say it again, Jules. He's a Capricorn. He thrives on the fire, on the vitriol, on the venom. He likes breaking people's spirits. He had, with the exception of me and a handful, he had 65,000 people depressed. He fed off that energy. He silenced that fucking crowd
Listen,
within 2-3 rounds.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you
He
could see
absorbed all that power from
listen,
60,000 people.
bro. If you could see the infrared cosmic energies in the arena that night, all the energy from the people was getting funneled to Usyk. B. He was bending time and space in that shit. All right, that motherfucker is a motherfucker. That being said, there's really only one go-to, but it's just a question of how you execute it because you know what your limitations are. You don't have the gas tank for a sustained attack. You literally don't have that. What you can do, however, let the right hand go. High guard. Forget about the fucking jab, bro. Stop trying to set up the Stop it. Stop it. It's not gonna work because he's gonna see the jab coming. You're gonna get fucking squirrely and won't bring over the right. Forget it. Catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. If you feel his jab hand, shoot. Just shoot. Fuck it. Go for it. And if the right hand don't land, go for the left and go for the body. All right? Because at minimum, what's gonna happen is he's gonna give up real estate, and before you know it, it's his back on those ropes. It's his back on those ropes. And you need at least that aesthetic. You need for people to see that they're like, yo, I'm backing him off. All he doing is running. They're not gonna give you those rounds. You know what I mean? It might cost some energy, but look, if you fence with him and try to outthink him, and I'm gonna set up the right, and I'm gonna jab, and I'm gonna keep my lead foot, and I'm gonna slip, man, that shit ain't gonna work.
I forgot what fighter said. I don't know if it was Roy or Bellew that said it's gonna take a dude just bigger than Usyk that hurts him because nobody in the division could outbox him,
Nah,
outthink him
fucking
at all.
Capricorn, bro. Well, fuck Capricorns out here, man. Look, Sancho's a Capricorn, Usyk's a Capricorn, Taylor's a Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn, Ali was a Capricorn, Frazier was a Capricorn, Foreman was a Capricorn, Hopkins was a Capricorn, George Jones Jr. was a Capricorn, Customato was a Capricorn, Floyd Patterson was a Capricorn, Stalin was a Capricorn. Y'all want to do this?
I mean, but then also,
Elvis
Jules,
Presley was a Capricorn.
have we seen this in boxing where a man won every one of his big fights on the road, his Olympic
No,
gold medal, all his
bro.
belts?
I said it.
This
Like
is
yo,
fucking
they haven't,
special.
bro.
This is special.
They haven't processed it yet that his ticket is punched. Like he could lose the rematch. He can lose. His ticket to the Hall of Fame is punched already, bro.
Do y'all think he can go down as the greatest cruiser?
Yes, he has the argument as the greatest cruiser because if unless my memory serves me, unless I'm mistaken, Holy didn't defend the cruiserweight undisputed championship. Like he didn't defend it. You know what I mean? Like he won it, moved up. And look, it's saying a lot because I never thought, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, having grown up in that era, I never thought that somebody would replicate what Holy did. I really like. I'm like, bro, these guys like Holy is a warrior, bro. That dude is a fucking warrior. All right, you don't get guys like that every so often. But I gotta say, Usyk,
I think
yo,
he's already the greatest
You know
cruiserweight for
what?
sure.
What's funny is a lot of I can't stand American fighters. They don't pay homage to the actual. They're not students of the game.
no,
Mm-hmm.
only
And
pro.
those Eastern Bloc guys study boxing. They love the
Yep.
history and the purity of the combat. They respect the elders, and legacy matters to them more than money for the most part.
What yo, bro? Why you think he said what he said? He said no professional boxing match tops win an Olympic gold. That says it all, bro. He represented the Ukraine when he fought in the Olympics. That's what mattered to him in here and up here. Now, I mean, now this is about legacy, yeah, but it's also about bread. It's a whole different thing.
He was
But
fighting in Russia when Russia was storming fucking Ukraine.
bruh, this dude is a wild man. Let me read the super chat. Shout out to Feeling Dangerous 113. Appreciate it. He says, here for the best boxing talks. Appreciate you, fellas. Appreciate you too, man. Chris Price says, I knew it was over when AJ walked out. Yo, I ain't even gonna lie. Let's go easy, yo. There's no short I was like, yo, dude, this cat is bad, B. How you gonna come out to that, man?
Hey man, but I was there, man. That lets you know AJ loves boxing, though, man. It was
Yeah.
it was beautiful. The
Listen,
energy was great. Like
he a student of the game. He a student of the game.
nobody fucking puts on that spectacle like Eddie Hearn. That shit was fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he a student of the game, but I'm really thinking like, yo, you know what? Don't let the spectators dictate to you what you want to do. Like my thing is this: if AJ in here don't want that rematch, listen to your heart, bro. Don't listen to listen to your heart. If you feel he got it, just let him have it. Like it's cool. I gotta live to fight another day because if I go in there again with him, the damage will be worse. All right. If in here you really don't want it, fuck what they saying today because they loved you yesterday and look at how they talking about you today. Forget
and
about
and
them.
and how old AJ? Let's be honest. AJ's was rushed to this.
Yeah.
Usyk's what 34, 35. Like heavyweights don't hit their prime till about 34, 35, 36.
Look, he was fighting for a title in a 16th pro fight.
And that was an offer you couldn't refuse. Like Charles Martin, let me get the belt. Oh fuck it. Al Heyman want to sell the belt? Okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, like I look at the heavyweight resumes. Like Tyson Fury wasn't fighting no champion of any kind whatsoever at 16-0. Neither was Wilder. Neither was most of these cats. He was put in a situation where they constantly expect him to do things that nobody else in the division was doing. Wilder wasn't fighting no motherfucking champion at 16-0. He's fighting fat cruiserweights with upside down records. Guys that's 5'11, pushing 40. It's like, bro, if you feel, look, I lost this fight and I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to refine myself, right? I'm gonna see about a solace, I'm gonna see about a McGirt. If that's what you feel right there, yo, do that. And forget what they saying, because remember, they loved you on Friday and was shitting on you on Saturday. As soon as it happened. Forget about them. You can't live and die for people like that. You can't. All right. You got to do if you know. Look, I want to extend my career. Maybe I just don't have it to beat this guy. That's if he feel that way. If he feels the other way, they're like, yo, I could get him. I got to change some things, but I could get him. Then go get him. Go get him. Because that's what it takes. Go
And
get
it's
him.
okay. Like nobody will forget. Let's say he goes after Usyk in 2 years. Usyk's 2 years older, 2 years slower. History's not going to remember. Oh, you fought him. Oh, like he
Listen,
vindicated himself,
my
and that's
dude.
okay.
Frank Bruno, listen, this is the wild shit. I'm telling you, this cat Sancho B. Listen, Oliver McCall beat Lewis. 4 fights later, 3 fights after that, Frank Bruno beat McCall. Who comes in and beats McCall after that in a rematch? Lewis. Most motherfuckers don't remember that. They just remember, oh, he got that back. They don't remember it was 4 fights in between that. They don't remember the first fight was in 94. The second fight was in 97. And they don't remember that Frank Bruno, who they love to shit on, he beat McCall right before that. They don't remember none of that.
They don't remember that Pacquiao lost to Morales the first fight. They remember, oh, he knocked him out. He got
Yep.
it back.
Yep. Don't
They
remember
don't.
none of that. That's why I'm like, look, man, sometimes look, you got guys that's on easy street and you keep trying to do it the right. Imagine Canelo gets stopped. It'll never happen. It'll never happen.
For real, in a 3 month span, we could see
Hey, you know why
Canelo
it
and
don't?
all the top fighters lose.
Canelo's not losing the plan because Al Heyman wants Canelo to fight Charlo or
It
Benavidez.
ain't even that, bro.
Well, I'm
Canelo
just
not.
saying in general, like he's not going to lose some skill, but Heyman's going to make sure Canelo don't lose that fight.
Nah. I'm gonna tell you what. Over the years, I can't lie that I started liking Canelo because the money ain't really fucking with him. He is that. They're like, bro, you can't fuck with me, B. Like you can't y'all can't talk to me, y'all can't tell me shit, and y'all can't fuck with me. Because for all the shit y'all say about me, y'all still trying to get like me. I ain't trying to get like y'all trying to get like me. Y'all calling me out talking about me. I ain't talking about y'all. When I seen that Plant shit, like, yo, when he said that shit at the press conference, he's like, oh, you think that's funny? Yeah, a little bit. That shit had me rolling.
Oh, that shit. Canelo is moving like a prime fucking narco, and the shipments are coming in like clockwork. You know, you can't mess with a fuck that they don't get. Boxing needs a Latino fighter oozing machismo.
Bro, we got that. We got Canelo.
They
B.
got
When he
that. We
said
got
that
Canelo.
shit,
Tio thought he. Let's switch real quick. The end of the fight, Tio sitting in front of the media, and the media asked him, Tio, was this worth it? Was it really worth it to wait this whole
he wanted to
fiasco?
say no. You know he
And
wanted to say no.
and how Tio answers the press conferences, and the media after this fiasco with Triller is going to say a lot of how he's going to move going forward.
Listen. The night of the Conseil South fight, Tim asked him, shout out to Tim Bradley. Tim asked him if he regret, and I could see it in his shoulders because that's a tell. You know, I could see that like, yo, you tense and you uncomfortable. You gonna say that it was worth it, but right here, you know it wasn't. You know it wasn't. You realizing it like, damn, B, I could have got this shit over with. Fucking with these people, I could have been got this shit over with. It's starting to sink in. And what bothers me is, I was really high on that kid, man. Like I really like, yes, we got somebody that could carry this sport. Nah, bro, you can't carry it. You ain't fought since October last year. You can't
You
carry it.
you can't sell 10,000 tickets in your home state, bro. Come on, that's not like we got Virgil Ortiz, we got Boots Ennis, and we'll see.
Yeah,
Let's.
but Boots, you know what my thing with Boots is? They won't fight him. As good as I think he could be, Keith Thurman not gonna fight him. Danny not gonna fight him. Who is this man gonna fight to stamp his shit? Because they don't wanna know they role and know they place. They're like, yo, Keith, man, you ain't had a belt in 2 years and you ain't fought in 2 years. What are you doing to get back on the scene? You know what you could do? You nice and all of that. One time, all that bullshit. Go fight Boots. He won't do it. He won't do it. And that's why I fuck with them Brits. Because if it was a Chisora, all right, what would it pay though? All right. I do it like Chisora, like that's why I fuck with Chisora. Like White don't gotta fight Valine, bro. He could have fought Jermaine Franklin. He could have fought Trevor Bryan. Nah, I'm gonna fight Valine. Why? Because he fucked up Fury. I'm gonna fight Valine. Fuck that. I like that shit. All right. Nah, only really, I don't even know if Thurman is gonna come back because we coming up on 2.5 years, I think.
I don't think he's coming back at all, honestly.
Bro, he gonna
I think
come
he's
back with a
done.
He
he
coming
gonna
back for that Danny Garcia rematch at 154.
bro, he gonna come back with a
Who gonna
talk
pay?
show.
Who gonna pay for that shit, though?
Bro, he gonna open up Keith Thurman's Yoga Institute. He gonna wear Pilates pants while he do yoga. Back
He gonna fight. He gonna fight Tank probably. They gonna use him for Tank.
no
hey,
real shit. They
hey,
are though.
I'll
I
pay
think
for
they
that
are.
shit though. I ain't gonna lie, I'll pay for that shit.
Nah, I don't. I wouldn't. You know
Hmm.
why? Because if Tank knock him out, they not gonna say that this dude is mad fragile. They not gonna say that this dude been out for 2 years with no fight. They're not gonna say none of that. He knocked out Thurman. Thurman
Hmm.
was a champion. Fuck out of here, B. Let me
There's no
drop the
buzz.
link.
Hey, Jewel, there's no buzz for this. This Wilder Fury 3. I fucking no
No,
buzz.
ain't no buzz
Nobody
for that.
wants to see this shit.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. You can't fake an interest, right? I'm not. I don't care who win that fight. Like Joshua lost, bro. I don't care who win that fight. But where my head is at, as far as heavyweight, is February and March. Other than that, it ain't about nothing. Look. Fury already dismissed the idea of fighting Usyk. He's like, I'm not fighting that dude. You think Wilder gonna fight him? Just like you said it on Twitter. Yo, he'll price himself out of the fight, bro. It won't happen. Ain't gonna be no undisputed, bro. It's dead. It's a wrap for that.
Mm-hmm. AJ was the only reason it was gonna be undisputed because he was gonna bring the $100 million fight. Without AJ, it ain't no big money in it.
No.
And that's the sad part. That like, look, and I said this about Roy and Tarver, right? Roy is my guy, love his whole career, right? But when Tarver slept him, Tarver did not become Roy after that. You was not the guy after that. Like, nah, it was not a transfer of marquee value. All right, didn't have the same effect. So if a guy goes in there like, look, Andy Ruiz knocks out Anthony Joshua, right? He comes, and he loses the rematch. Granted, he comes back to America. What does he sell? What did his pay-per-view do? You're not gonna bring the money that he brought in. You're not gonna bring the fanfare and the excitement that he brought in.
And that's fucking Andy fumbled that bag. Had he beat AJ, he'd have the Mexican fans and selling 500, 600,000
No,
pay-per-views.
you know what the shit is? You know why I'm gonna say no? Because they 1-1. They not 2-1. They 1-1. Feel me? So all right, you lost the rematch. But if you really had fans, they would have bought that pay-per-view if they fuck with you. If they fuck with you, they'd have bought your shit. They don't fuck with you like that. You was on pay-per-view, they didn't buy
Hey,
that shit.
sabes que, pero you know how Latinos get. They saw he was lazy and didn't come hard to work, and they're like, "Fuck you, bro. You're like my Theo drinking Modelo's. Get the fuck out of here."
I mean, I dig it. Somebody spanking their kid in the background because I keep hearing slaps. Find out that's Anthony Joshua eavesdropping on the relay trying to get some tips. Like, all right, catch and shoot. High guard, catch and shoot. Lead right hand.
You think White gets ordered as a mandatory for the Fury Wilder winner?
No.
That shit's crazy. It's been years. I don't know how they're just allowed to do that. I
I
mean,
told you.
Dillian White needs to
Bro,
go to the ABC Commission's office and talk to them.
No, I mean, and Jules, another thing. How come Andrade doesn't do what Usyk did?
I was gonna ask that. But I don't know. Wait, before I pass it to Camacho because I want to let him in on the conversation. I don't know that Andre is a WBO super champion because only the super champions could do that. Not just if you got a belt, you got to be the WBO or a WBO super champion to impose yourself as a mandatory at a weight of your choosing. And I don't know that he has that status. Like I know Canelo has it, Amanda Serrano has it, I think Katie Taylor has it too, but I don't know that he has that shit because he was never unified. He wasn't unified at 54. So I don't know if he ever even got super status. Camacho, what
Yo, Ring
can
IQ.
yeah.
Look, man, I'm a viewer of your show, The Relay, and now that I got you, man, I got two grievances with your opinions, two major ones.
Okay.
So if I don't want to switch up the conversation, but just really quick, with the whole Caleb Plant and Canelo thing, man, Caleb Plant is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's like bringing interest to the fight, and you said that if Caleb Plant, the more shit he talks, the more likely he's gonna get knocked out. Dude, Canelo would have knocked him the fuck out even if he gave him roses and kissed his mother. Like, no matter what, Canelo wants to fuck him up. So might as well piss him off, try to get in his head a little, and also sell some more pay-per-views because he's gonna have pay-per-view points. Like, Canelo's gonna give him no mercy, bro. Whether he's nice or angry, it's gonna be like a cartel slaughtering.
Okay,
So,
now all right, now hold on.
ahead.
Now you brought it up. You didn't listen. It's causality. Go ahead, piss him off. Do what you got to do to sell a fight. Do what you got to do to get in his head. It's causality. You could do all that shit. All you're gonna do is make him matter, and he's gonna knock you out. He was gonna beat you before. He probably would have did to you what he did to Smith, you know. But if you make it personal, look, do what you gotta do. That's life. You gotta do what you. If you feel that that's gonna help you, if you think making him more upset is gonna help you, good.
But look at what happened to Cal Smith. Canelo was like fucking up his arm. Like he really wanted.
Yeah, but Callum didn't say shit. Callum is out of Billy and Callum. Who finished the fight on their feet? Callum. Who was running their mouth? Who was running their mouth? No, but who was running their mouth and got they and if his eye socket didn't really get broke, then Canelo made you not want to be there and you quit. But either way, you didn't finish this fight on your feet because you made it personal. For Caleb, look, you can be cordial and appreciate the opportunity, not say nothing. Maybe you give yourself an element of surprise. Look, if it's me and I'm getting tips from Andre Ward, why the fuck would I post the pictures on Instagram? I don't need people knowing what I'm trying to do. I don't need people knowing that I'm gonna fight Canelo on the inside. I don't need people knowing that. This bone, like, let me post the pictures on Instagram.
But if you can get in his head, wouldn't it be easier for him to make mistakes? Like just to piss him off?
I'm gonna ask you a question. Everybody said Billy was getting in Canelo's head with the ring and the clenbuterol, and what happened?
Man, Billy was just trolling him, like the way he threw like that chicken at Wilder. Like
Everybody said that same shit.
You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get in a man's head that's negotiating fucking with cartels to release his brother the day before his fight. Come on, man.
Dog, I was just about to say that the day he was fighting. What was it, Smith? It was either Smith or Fielding.
No, it was Rocky Fielding.
It was Fielding. Yo, the day that's going on, this man is swapping punches with Fielding for a Reggie belt. His brother's being held for ransom. And you think that bringing up cows is going to get in his head?
But it's with his image. Like, he doesn't want people to fuck up his image. Like, that pisses him off. Like, you're fucking with his image. You're fucking with his money. Right, you're making him mad.
Yo, piss him off, right? What's that going to do? He going to do to you what he did to Billy.
His image is fine. Okay. The Mexicans love him talking shit and looking like a cartel boss.
Listen, since all that clenbuterol shit, like everybody think Canelo is like losing sleep over that. Yo, his profile has grown since then. He's literally a bigger star now than he was before. All that, like I'm trying to tell you something, like all that shit don't matter. The best thing you could do, like if it's me, y'all ain't gonna talk, B. If I'm planning on beating this dude, nah, I ain't gonna talk, man. I'll appreciate that.
Ring IQ. It's a win-win scenario. Like, first of all, this one's gonna sell pay-per-views. Like, it's more interest for this fight than the Billy fight. Because Billy was just mildly infuriating, but this Canelo is like legit fucking pissed. And I have my normie friends who are asking me, "Hey, do you happen with Canelo?" All over Facebook and social media, like it's gaining interest. So either
I said it in a video I did that look, what he's doing is good for the fight. It's good for the profile of the fight. Oh yeah, it's good for the profile of the fight. Is it good for you though? No.
This fight,
dude. I'll take an ass for $3 million.
What's that
going? This fight is not going to do what Canelo Cotto did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, at minimum, we're gonna do 750 to 6
on a UFC on the same night as a UFC pay-per-view. And
let's just say, in the history of all pay-per-views, it won't do well. But for Caleb Plant, who's getting pay-per-view points, to raise up the buys from like 200, like just say 500,000, to like maybe close to $1 million. That's that's millions of dollars in his bank account.
I'm glad that Plant wants the fight to do well and that he wanted to break even. But all that worrying about it breaking even gonna get his face broke. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, do it.
You know why Plant? Hey, you know why Plant wants it to break even? Because he knows if it don't, that fake Al Heyman PBC equity, he's not really gonna get paid.
I was wondering that if it don't go break even, do the fighters even get
Canelo's funny. Canelo's getting his 40 off top.
That's what I was going to say. That what we know is Canelo is going to get his 40 regardless of whatever. He's going to get his 40. Plant, I don't know, B.
Al Heyman only pays the Mexicans in full.
Yeah, because I remember with the Bronner and Pacquiao still got his 20, but Bronner didn't get his what was he promised? I want to say 4.
I remember there was a video after the fight where Broner was walking to the locker room, looked like he had a check in his hand or some shit, and he was pissed, bro. He was pissed. And you see that
Okay,
look here in 2021, he's still telling Al to give him his money. Leo, go ahead.
okay. Let me say this. Uh, People like to say Canelo broke Billy Joe Saunders' face. Maybe that is uh, because we saw the pictures before the day after, or 2 days after. There was no mark of surgery, but let's say Billy Joe Saunders didn't get his eye socket broke. What
Mhm.
are you? Why are you saying you are going to retire, dude? The guy Canelo was beating your ass
Yes.
and he taunting you after you were talking mad shit in front of thousands of people, and
Yes.
maybe that broke Billy Joe
This
Sanders.
is what Leo, this is what I'm trying to say. That like, look, it's causality. You could talk. Go ahead, talk. Don't nobody want you to stop talking. Go ahead and talk. Sell a fight, sell a shit. Just know that it's causality. All that talking you doing, this dude is gonna fucking break you, yo. He's gonna
Yo,
break you.
Canelo, still Canelo don't give a fuck when he said like, yeah, bro, I was poor too, but I'm not gonna cry and make it as an excuse. Come on,
That's
dude.
real shit. Like he acting like Canelo. He acting like motherfucking Canelo from Beverly Hills or some shit. Like man, talking
He
about
wants a
that.
sob story. He wants
He's
everybody to
like,
feel bad for him.
hey, let me say something. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. How y'all doing? All right. Um. Okay, I'm listening to the guy that just the last guy that was speaking on Caleb. I do definitely agree with you when the numbers 600, 750. I just think what we had with streaming and stealing, I think people will continue doing that. I
Mm-hmm.
think pay-per-view will continue struggling with numbers only because people have the option. They can always pick free. Um, as far as Caleb, I don't think Caleb is selling anything. I think it's genuine. I think he has the confidence of what he thinks he's going to do and what have you. So I don't think it's pretty much him acting or selling. I did agree when somebody was talking about the story of poverty because Canelo came from the same situation. I think people kind of get caught up into he's kind of putting it out there like Canelo and come from it. I think he's just trying to tell his story. And we tend to at times just try to put things in a box
I
or
dig it.
we tend to put things in a box and say, okay, well, he's saying this, he doing this. Well, I mean, well, that's what a promotion is either way. I don't think he's selling. I think he's genuine. I think he's just selling with his personality and the two clashing together. I honestly believe Canelo is protecting his image. So whether Caleb Plant get up there, be quiet, don't say nothing, or what have you, I think he's actually being himself. Canelo go bring whatever he go bring to the table.
Jay,
I
Jay, I'm gonna say this, Jay. I'm gonna say this, Jay, right? Because the whole thing about Plant selling a fight, see, that's not what I think. That's just what
Mhm.
people saying, right? This is what
Okay.
I think. This is what I think. Honest to God, Caleb got the right idea because that's the idea that Teofimo had. I'm not gonna be up here just being thankful to be here. Fuck you because I'm here to beat you. That's what I
Right.
feel. That's what I feel Caleb is trying to do, right?
Hmm.
And it's not about right or wrong. Like you get up there, say something, you get up there and say nothing, right? I feel that he don't have it. Like you got the right attitude, but then there's implementation, then there's execution. And from what I seen from Caleb, bro, you gas with Truax, you gas with Uskateki, right? They don't even bring
Ring
the pressure.
IQ.
Let's talk
His
about
And that's
implementation is
and it
masterful. It's
and it
let's
going
and
viral.
Capricorn and
That
hold on,
10-second clip is going viral.
hold on.
Bro,
Can
you
let's
talking, bro? Look, listen. They got Tom Brown and all them for the promotion. I
I
don't think Caleb is promoting shit. I think, yo, he got the right idea. He got the right idea. Like, man, I ain't gonna be up here acting like
Okay,
Canelo is
He's
my
an
favorite
accidental
fighter.
okay,
genius. He's an
okay.
accidental genius, man.
You
I'm
know,
telling you right.
you know,
let's
you,
let
guys.
can we
You know,
talk about the you saying him tiring? Can we discuss the fact that he tiring? Because I saw some things that Truax and what's the other name you said?
It was Truax and a
And
dude that he
and
won the belt from.
Sakataki.
Uskateki.
Okay, all right. Well, they got two
say something
things that
real
I
quick
saw in that
about
fight.
like about what you guys saying. Plant doesn't look comfortable. This is his first time with actual attention on a fight, and he's insecure about like Canelo is looking right through him and saying, "You ain't on this level."
Oh,
You ain't been in there
Whoa.
with
let,
killers.
let me
Wait,
let
wait,
me
wait,
let
wait,
me let
Hey
wait.
me
guys,
pass it back to
guys.
Jay. Wait, let me pass it back
You
to
ain't been
Jay.
in there with killers.
Let me pass it back to Jay. But before I pass it to you, Jay, I'm gonna say this. It's a channel called Boxing Beats and Rhymes. If you're not already subscribed, just subscribe to it. It's real good shit there. And he said it better than I could say it. It's
Okay.
like he said Caleb skipped steps. And it's whether it's on purpose or it's not on purpose, either way, that's how it happened. That you went from Uskateki to fucking Mike Lee, the subway guy, right? You went from Uskateki to Pfaffendugen. It should have been for the betterment of your skill set, Uskateki Benavidez. Because the guy, you just ain't been in there with a Lara, with a Trout, with a motherfucking Jacobs, with a motherfucking Cole. You have
I
not
agree.
done none of that.
I
So this,
agree.
so
Caleb,
But
you
ring
can,
IQ, ring
Caleb
IQ. The
Plant, Caleb,
casuals
yo,
don't know that.
Caleb,
The casuals
Caleb.
don't know
bro,
shit.
you talking,
We're
bro?
not
What
talking
you
about the
talking about
casuals.
promotion, bro? Like all you talking about is promotion. I'm talking about the goddamn fight. Like, bro, you talking about
Oh, okay,
promotion?
okay,
Let
okay.
me
Not fair.
Caleb
No, no,
Caleb
fair
Plant
enough.
had the
He's gonna get
nerve.
let
killed.
me
He's gonna get
Caleb Plant
slaughtered.
had
let
the
me
nerve to get up there and say, "I'm the first one that's not afraid of Canelo and coming to beat him." Like Triple G didn't fuck his ass up in the first fight. Come
That's
on, blood.
But
Come
listen,
on.
listen, listen, listen. Let me let Jay get it. Because I want Jay to go after this. But what I'm gonna
okay.
say is, look, what I'm gonna say is this: regardless of the judges' scorecards, right? You talking about a dude that won 24 rounds with Golovkin, didn't get knocked down, didn't get knocked out, took hard shots to the face, right? 24 rounds with a guy like that, right? Supposed to be the killer, supposed to be the one for 24 rounds with that guy. He done been there and done that with guys in situations that Caleb, he just has not done none of that. So you can get up there on stage and try to like psych yourself into the moment because you
Mhm.
have to. You have to do what you have to do for you. I'm saying that shit ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
Okay,
That's all I'm
All
saying.
right. Well,
okay, okay.
let me say this. Let me say this. All right. I'm going out on a hunch with this. Dude, when I first um heard about the matchup, I picked Canelo easily because I say to myself, man, Caleb ain't never been in a ring with somebody that's gonna really mentally stress him out and make him think 12 rounds of fight. And I don't know if it was wise to pick the David Benavidez fight because, in my honest opinion, I got Benavidez beating both of them,
Me
and I can
too.
explain that why
All
if
right, Jay.
somebody did it.
Let's take an interlude. I got Benavidez beating Plant. I ain't gonna lie about that. I do got Benavidez beating Plant. But somebody gave me a parallel when they talked about Canelo Benavidez, and they say, you know what that is? That's Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas. And I was like, hell yeah, that's exactly why. Because Benavidez ain't had the fights neither. He ain't had them fights.
Let,
And I'm
let,
and I'm gonna
let me
tell
tell
you
you.
the
Hold on, hold on,
difference,
hold on,
right?
hold
And I'm
on,
gonna
hold on.
let me add
No,
a
I
little
don't.
quick
I
parallel to
got
it.
the
Go ahead.
difference. I got the difference because me and him. Let me explain what I'm saying. Benavidez to me is different for both of them guys. Benavidez is 6'3". He cuts weight. He probably should be fighting at 175
Mm-hmm.
naturally, but he getting down. So I'm not complaining. Weight manipulation is a part of the sport now. Benavidez comes forward, he throws fast punches, and he stalks people with his size and his presence. That's a problem for any of those guys at 168. I don't care who it is. And yes, Canelo is great, but Canelo ain't never been there with a guy that's going to dictate or try to dictate the action that goes on. And the fact that Canelo is flat footed mostly and moves his upper torso, I don't see him being able to deter Benavidez and keep Benavidez from walking forward and pushing him backwards. The
Not, not,
same
not, not,
thing.
not, 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 Jay. Let me rebuttal. I like where we going with this. Why
Let
do
me
I
get in there
think
after.
Canelo got it for David? Because David, everybody forgot that Canelo liked when the guy come to him. What's David Benavidez? He about 6'3". What that mean? You could tuck them elbows. He's still gonna get them body shots in there. You not used to that. Canelo is flat footed. He playing his feet because he sits on his punches. He not
True.
gonna be on the balls of his feet trying to get away from you. If you want to dig in, he'll dig in with you. And because he little, like he's a little dude. So because he's so little, you got to try to hit a small target that knows how to stay off the line. You don't. Who ever backed up David Benavidez? Nobody. He used to be in a bully. Go ahead and try to stand in front of Canelo with your elbows tucked, trying to throw hooks on the inside. He got shorter arms than you. His punch is going to connect before yours. I see David getting stopped, and I know that's going to sound crazy, but I see David getting stopped by body shots, not by head
Okay,
punches, body shots.
Let's not
David,
forget this.
And no,
David,
Sorry,
who
I'm
said
sorry.
that Caleb Plant shouldn't have went from Uskateki to Benavidez?
nobody said that. I
You you
think that's
you
what
said it was the smart, not the smart move, right? To just go
no,
from
all
that to
right,
like,
I did say that. I did say that. So I said that.
and that's the difference right there with these American fighters from Usyk, Canelo. You got to run through the fire before you're ready for the top dog. Caleb
I,
has not ran through the
Okay,
fire.
hold on. Let me defend
Caleb,
my pick because I'm going out on a limb with this one, and I'm just gonna stay with Caleb because that's what I want to do at this point in time. My everything that I know about boxing is telling me Canelo, but when Styles make fights, I'm gonna respect Caleb's style. I'm gonna respect the things that Caleb do, and if Caleb wants to be great that night and become the dictator, I can see him having a lot of success. Is it going to be hard to get a scorecard against Canelo? Yes, we all know that and what have you. But I do see the success Caleb can have. Why I said going backwards, I think Benavidez will hurt Caleb with his ability to
listen,
be bigger and dominant and walk you down and bully you. And I
listen.
think here,
It's bigger.
Yeah.
It's bigger. It's hold on. I see your point, Jay. Right? Like, let's say the succession of fights is because I didn't structure the sentence well enough.
Mhm.
Let's say the succession of fights was Uskateki, then Benavidez. I Plant finna lose. What should it have been in an ideal boxing world where you get brought up right? It should have been fucking Uskateki, Smith. If they wasn't isolating themselves, I go
Mhm.
after Smith, bro. You got a better chance of beating Smith than
Caleb
beating
Smith,
David.
right?
Yeah,
Caleb
Caleb
Smith.
Smith when he had the
Okay,
belt. Go after
okay, I
Smith.
agree with
Then,
that.
then you know what you do after that? You ain't been in there with a lot of southpaws. You ain't been in there with a lot of guys that lead with they right. Go after Billy. You would have made your chops with them and unified. So by the time Canelo come over here, like, hey, wait a minute, you can't give me no funny looking split. B, I got 3 of the belts that you want. You got to give me at least 35, 40, something like that. Nah, what he did, he fought Mike Lee, the fucking subway guy, literally the subway guy from the commercials, motherfucking Farfendugan, like where they found him at, and
And
motherfucking and
and
mother.
and that goes back to my point earlier, Jules, about these dudes don't crave the battle and the combat the way the foreign fighters do.
He ain't try hard enough. Canelo gave them guys enough time to sew up their situation, because remember he only really started this unification shit the last 6 months. They had all that time to look. Canelo up there fighting fucking Kovalev. Let me go get Smith before he come down, because you know he gonna come down. He not gonna stay up there. Let me get Smith now, get that out the way. Maybe I could get Billy after that. Nah, what you do? You fought
let me
And
three
also,
lighter touches.
also, I'm just my point is we've seen Caleb Plant look good against C and B level. We've never seen him against elite competition. So
but
how do you
Never.
know he can do these
He
things
looked
in
bad
that's
at
elite
times against
competition
them
when you've
this
never
is
C and
seen
what
D
it?
level
this is
guys.
what
When you've
his
never
fight
seen it.
Yeah.
this is what the fight proves though. And listen, I'm gonna go back to my point. I'm with all fighters fighting each other. I ain't gonna tell nobody to duck anything, but I'm gonna tell you right now, going after Benavidez when he have to, we wouldn't be talking about no Plant and no Canelo right now because Benavidez would derail us.
I did.
So I'll be honest. I'll be honest. If
And
I'm Caleb,
and to go and
hold on,
that would
hold on,
do
player.
better pay-per-views wise than
Hold
this
on.
fight.
If
Oh,
if I'm Caleb Plant and I can, let's say I did what IQ suggested, I like that game plan. I can see Caleb Plant having success against those guys going forward. But once he gets to Benavidez, the train stops, and he knows
listen,
this.
listen,
So if
listen. This
Benavidez
what
don't
I'm gonna
have the
say.
belt, don't go that route.
This what I'm gonna say. Look, this what I'm gonna say. Right? Could he have possibly beaten Benavidez after that succession of
Nope.
fights? Let's be nice. Let's just be nice. Let's say we don't know, because that's too far out. We basically talking about a year and a half worth of fights. That's what we talking about. If you fight Smith, then Saunders, and then you fight Benavidez after that, that's a year and a half. Bang. So we don't know what kind of Caleb we would have had if he did that. But guess what? He didn't do that. With the Caleb that we got, that I just seen fight Truax, bro, he tried to do a shoulder roll and got hit on the top of his head. He ain't got it for Canelo, man.
Hold on.
He
Let's see.
ain't
Now we
got
getting
it. He
farther and
ain't
farther.
got it.
Let me get my breakdown. Let me get my breakdown.
All
See,
right.
I saw the same thing that you saw. But see the difference, if I'm not mistaken, Truex is probably how tall?
Truax is like 6 feet tall. He is.
Okay,
He's six
six
feet
feet
tall.
tall. All right, and to Chazak, how you say his Latin? Chanak,
Um,
Chakadi?
Uskateki.
Uskateki, that's okay. Both of them fighters, from my understanding, was at least 6 feet tall. Caleb Plant is probably 6'1", maybe 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And see, now you bring in the difference. Canelo is 5'6",
Really,
5 or
he
five
is. He
seven.
like 5'7". Really.
Okay, so hold on. Those guys actually had. Now, hear me out. Those guys actually had decent footwork to where they can move in position to place those shots against Caleb. I
Bro.
believe Caleb gonna have the better set of feet in a fight. And if Caleb can dictate and not let Canelo get comfortable and dictate, we might be seeing a different fight.
All right,
For
let me
First
read
of all,
this.
Caleb don't have a jab like Triple G to dictate anything to
that's
Canelo.
not true.
Now,
That's
hold
not
on. Now,
you
let
have
me.
not watched
It's
Caleb
getting
Plant
spicy.
fighting.
It's getting spicy. Let me read the super chats. Jaime Nieto says I'm a Benavidez fan, but he squares up too much and is there to get hit and
Oh my
counter.
God. Okay. Can I say
Oh,
something about this squaring up? Because I get tired of people critiquing. Let me tell you something. If you can square up and tear somebody's ass alive and they go get the fuck away from you, square your ass up. Don't be trying to be perfect and
Jay.
hide yourself, because this the thing people complain always say about the squaring up, and they missing the fact. If I'm pushing your ass backwards and you're not gonna stand in front of me and commit to no punch, I'm gonna square up and walk your
But
ass and fall down. That's
Jay, think about now. This is what I'm gonna say about the squaring up shit, right? Why is that? Why is that relevant in a Canelo fight? You gotta think about who Benavidez fought when he was squaring up. He squared up on Porky Medina when he did that little shoe shine, and you could do that to Porky Medina. Like, yeah, you could do that to Porky. You can't do that to Canelo, bro.
So
You gonna
hold on. You don't think Benavidez? Listen, we arguing styles, right? Because they haven't fought, so we got to see the fights. You
mm-hmm.
don't think Benavidez, with his size, power, speed, and combination punches, will make Canelo move? You don't think
Yes.
so?
No. Hold on. Let me break it down for you. This is what I see happening with Canelo and Benavidez. He's gonna move Canelo backwards, but Canelo's gonna go to his body, and it's not gonna show up until later on.
Of-
All the body shots, it's not. None of that is gonna show up till later on. After that, he gonna start slowing down and get hit in his fucking face, but it'll be a body shot that does him in because he got long arms and his holes in there, bro. You could tuck your elbows all day, he's still gonna hit your body because he little. Two, he not your run of the mill little guy. He know how to stay off the line. He know how to slip and hook. It's easy for him to get under your punches. Why? Because you're so fucking tall.
And
It's
and and let me tell you
Okay.
this: if he fights Benavidez at 168, there will be a rehydration clause because Canelo ain't stupid.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Canelo puts that in there. All right, let me argue one more point with it, because you just brought something to my attention. Yes, Benavidez has been doing that against guys who not willing to sit in there and take them shots, or sit in the kitchen long enough to place the counters. And I can see Canelo being effective. And you're very much right. It will cash in towards the end of the fight for the shot placement to the body. So let me ask you this, because we're still talking styles.
mm-hmm.
Street Benavidez, you don't think with the pressure that he puts on, maybe it makes Canelo slightly off? Being that, listen, Canelo will have to move a little more to get
Mm-hmm.
his shots and picking shots. You don't think that's challenging?
No, yeah. But remember what I said. Remember what I said. In the beginning, he gonna move. Like think
Your
Golovkin.
back, your
No,
background is bad.
wait. Think Canelo Golovkin won. He gonna move in the beginning, but when he get off a shot, it's gonna be a body shot. For starters, what I see with David don't got the jab that Golovkin had, to where he keeps shooting it, keep the guy in a high guard, so that by the time he gets to you and go to your body, you know what I mean? It's their form. David don't jab that much. David gonna come in throwing hooks, and if Canelo get under a hook, or he slip a hook, or he slip and hook himself, he could catch David with a lot of shit. Like
It's
I
fun.
think you giving David a little bit too much credit. What we've seen him do is with guys that let him do that. Who he been
And
in there with
listen,
that could stop him from doing that?
okay, I agree with you on that, but we still got to match up the styles against the fight. And I don't know where I can find out how effective it is, or if it's not, if he does fight the Canelo. So when David does this against guys, I see the consequences that he can pay against a better fighter. But I can't just keep saying, well, damn, Canelo gonna make him pay. I got to find out if Canelo gonna make him pay and match
Hey,
the style up.
No,
if
that's
the
why you
okay,
that's why you fight the fights.
No, yeah, Jay, like me and you, like, don't get it twisted. If the fight's tomorrow, I'm buying the fight. Like, I ain't nobody saying don't fight David. No. Fight David. Fight David. Fight Caleb. Fight Bivol. Fight better be. Like, I'm a fight fan, bro. If it's, I said it already. If it's Canelo and Caleb, I mean, if it's Canelo and David, and David don't got a, I'm still gonna buy the fight. Even if
Right.
David ain't got a belt, I'm still gonna buy the, because I know it's a good fight. I know it's a better fight and a more high risk, dangerous fight than the Plant fight. Like with Plant,
Agreed.
with Plant, I seen Plant try to roll punches off the shoulder and still get marked up by guys. And even if the height differential prevents Canelo from tagging you the way a 6-foot dude do, remember Canelo got an overhand right too. And if he can't get off the overhand right, the body is there because Canelo's a body puncher and he's accountable. It's too many ways I could see it going sideways
All
for
right.
Caleb.
Let me add two more things in it. All right. Because I'm taking a chance on this one. You know how sometimes you just want to be fucking right and go against what everybody else going with, even though
Listen,
you
bro,
think.
I learned. Listen. Being a contrarian, I learned my
Capricorns don't go
lesson.
against logic.
Yeah, I can't do it. Like I'm like, bro,
Okay,
look,
Capricorn's gonna get. All right, I got you. I
I
got you. All right, let me say this with the jab. All right, somebody say he don't jab, which I totally disagree.
no.
Actually,
I didn't say he don't jab. I
no,
said
that
he
was
don't.
somebody
No,
He
else.
I
don't
did.
jab
I
as
said he
much.
don't jab like. I said he don't got that power jab like Triple G does.
I
Okay,
agree with
let
that.
me
I agree
defend
with
that
that.
one. Let me defend that statement right quick. No, he may not have a power jab or a place jab like Triple G, but he has a very active jab that can keep Canelo at bay with the high guard. Canelo moves his upper torso to dodge punches. If Caleb Plant, the longer guy, is flicking the jab, and the thing about Caleb does, he doesn't lean over, even though he may bend slightly a little bit. He does keep his chin over his footwork to where he can always be responsive and be defensive at the same time. So he does actually have an active jab, and I watched him do it against the level of guys he's been fighting, and that could be an argument. But he does have a jab that he could keep Canelo with
Wait,
his hands up and actually be picking or placing
Jay,
to the side.
we talking about Caleb or we talking about David?
Oh, I was talking about Caleb with the jab because somebody
All right.
said he
Yeah,
didn't have the.
because Caleb has a jab. Like I seen him use his jab. Don't get me wrong. I say Caleb has more of a jab. Like David's jab is very generic. Like he gonna jab, then bring over a right hand. Then when he get close to you, he gonna start hooking. You know what he gonna do with his
Yeah,
jab.
exactly. I
It,
agree.
it ain't a lot of nuance to that shit. Was all right. Caleb has a little different variation of the jab, but it's not a step jab and it's not a power jab. There's nothing on it. There's nothing on his
It's
jab.
a
And if it ain't,
flicker. It's
it's
a
a flick.
flicker. Like
It's
it's
a
like
flick
he's
jab.
flicking.
And
It's like
and
a
real
flicker jab.
quick, is that jab gonna get judges more credit than Canelo's power shots like the Lara fight? Absolutely not.
No.
Hold on. I can tell you the difference because I'm a Lara fan, and somebody said
No,
that.
what I'm saying is, what are the judges gonna score? What are the judges gonna give more effort and more credit to? Canelo's power shots or Caleb's flickering
Hold on,
jab?
Canelo gonna have to catch up with Caleb, the better mover that can move around. With Caleb to say, I can see Caleb flicking that jab and then
I'm
stabbing to the
just
body or
I'm
trying to
just saying
face.
how the
No.
judges
See, this is
score
what I'm gonna say.
Canelo
This is what I'm gonna
fights.
say. No. It ain't even that. It ain't because I don't think. You know why I don't think it goes to the scorecards less? Because this is what I envision. Right. This is what I think is going to happen when they fight. I think Caleb might have a little bit of success early, but the pace of the fight is going to catch up to him sooner because Canelo applies more pressure than the
Mhm.
guys that he be fight. He come through in that high guard, catch and shoot,
He's a
catch and shoot.
dictator.
He's
Canelo's a
gonna
dictator. You
so
got to disrupt his dictation. Like this,
and
is the
if
thing I'm arguing.
Jay, if he don't land with authority, how the fuck
Right?
is he gonna stop Canelo from keep coming
But-
forward, high
ho-
guard, catch and shoot to the
hold on.
body?
See, this the thing about picking and going with. Cause like when the first fight initially happened, I said I got Canelo. And then I started thinking about the styles. I said, well, damn, Caleb might be. I see how active he is with his jab, how slick he is. He might be able to keep it on outside on the range and just pick and pick and pick and what have you. He moves fairly decent. He does gas to the late part of the round, which if I feel like he can dictate Canelo or his style, meaning he's the dictator, meaning his style is dictating the range, the pace of the fight. I believe he can steal enough rounds to where Canelo will have a problem with catching up to him because Canelo don't have to me he don't have the footwork to just uh catch up with Caleb, and Caleb could stay on the outside and just work that jab and flick that jab and place his shots.
No,
The
Jay,
other
you really think Caleb can win undisputed decision fighting like that and
Now
not
let's
hurt.
Man, listen.
His
no, no,
gas tank won't allow him to. You're not gonna beat Canelo moving like that all day because his pressure is he brings a lot of pressure. Eventually, you're gonna have to stand still and stand your ground with him, and that's what's going to cause Caleb Plant a lot of problems. He's going to get
Okay,
stopped
here,
in like the
here go to
seventh through ninth round.
here comes the Andre Wall argument. Okay, because I got a backup. All right, y'all could discredit the work or the week or whatever time he put in. Caleb Plant was actually smart enough to pick the brain of one of the greatest that since I've been watching boxing. In Andre Ward. Andre Ward is Mr. Technically
hold
take
on.
away certain shit from you. So maybe Caleb has worked on things because we haven't seen him in camp. Has worked on things. I also seen that he worked with James Toney about how to use his shoulder up close.
Now
Now
hold up,
listen.
Let me read the super chat, Jay, because they
Okay.
building up. Jaime Nieto says I could see Caleb having early success, but the body shots will wear and Caleb will slow down, and that'll be a problem later in the fight. Real Dude Uprising says Plant's only shot is to circle to his right steadily all night while avoiding the body shots and keep
Mm-hmm.
Canelo in one direction to his left. But I'm betting Caleb won't do that all night. Now, this is how. Now, let me get to I'm gonna pass it to you, Jay. But let me say this, right? We just saw Canelo Alvarez in there, right, with a pretty good southpaw. Like we could say what all the shit we want about Billy outside of the ring, but in that ring, he's a pretty good southpaw. Good little jab, feints well. He flicks with his jab like Caleb, but he doing it with his right. Canelo was able to catch up to him, and we know them southpaws is a problem, but he was able to catch up to him and land enough shots that Billy didn't even want to be there anymore. With an
Agreed.
orthodox fighter, it's gonna be 2 times as easy.
Okay, guys.
Agreed. But listen, to me, Caleb, I'm not Billy Joe. He ducked all the fights to where he could have struggled. And I'm sorry, since he ducked Andrade for the times he ducked him, I thought Andrade would have showed what Billy Joe really was or really wasn't. To be honest,
No. I mean,
Caleb,
look, I don't disagree with you, right?
That
But
has
you,
nothing to do with what we talking about.
it,
it does
oh
and
my God.
it does and it don't. You know why? I see your point. I dig it, but I don't use Andrade as a parallel for these other guys because what's Andrade? He's a southpaw. He's a southpaw. Of course, you're gonna take away my advantage if I fight you because if I walk in there with Lemieux, I got an advantage over him. If I walk in there with with Chris Eubank, I got an advantage over him. I'm a southpaw. I can't use Andre as a southpaw. I mean, as a parallel for an orthodox fighter.
But
It's a different
let
fight.
me tell you how I can use them. Okay, let me bring the context since the person said they don't have nothing to do with it so he can understand. What I was saying is he brought up Billy Joe. If the fights went down like it was supposed to and it wasn't canceled because he popped for a test, he failed a drug test, Andrade would have derailed Billy Joe, and we won't be talking about a Canelo and Billy Joe. That's my point of what I said about the Billy Joe in the beginning. So I kind of was like, I'm not on Billy Joe.
Nah,
Like Billy Joe biggest win for me
nah.
was
But
hold on, let
that
me
has
finish.
nothing to do with the
No,
actual
no, 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 no,
fight
no,
and how the
no.
fights play out.
Not only that,
Not.
even if Andrade beat him, Billy Joe could have still moved up and got
Thank
that
you.
vacant title.
Because the only reason Billy moved up is because Zerto moved up. That's the
No, but
only
that was
reason
two. Hey,
Billy
it was
moved
two
up.
times though. It was two times when he avoided Andrade. Am I right? I'm right about that because he
No,
avoided him at
no. Listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The first time was that he got popped for the shit. Then
right.
after that, they gave the belt to Andre. Andre fought Count Dorkwa for it, and they told Billy, you've been ordered to fight Andre. Instead of fighting him, he moved up and he fought for the vacant one at 168. What I'm saying is, let's say the fight went through, and let's say Andre won. That still wouldn't have stopped Billy from going to 68 and picking up the WBO up there
Wait,
because it was
I'm a
vacant.
little confused about something. So at 68, he was never ordered to fight Andrade again
No,
before the
not
Canelo.
This was
68.
all
No,
at
no.
60.
That was all at 60. That wasn't 68.
So it happened twice though at 60 though,
It
right?
did happen twice. Basically,
Okay, my bad. My
basically,
bad then.
yeah,
All right.
the
I'm
first time Andre was his mandatory. Then after all that shit with the drug, he became Andre's mandatory. And instead of because he the mandatory they ordered to fight, he said, fuck that shit, I'm gonna go to 68 and win the vacant WBO up there that Zerto Ramirez just vacated.
okay. All
All
right,
of
I'll
that,
stand to be corrected on that. I was wrong about it because you're right. He could have still moved up to 68, and so right. So
and we
I
would have had
take
the same
Andrade out of that.
and we would have been having the same conversation, Billy and
Right.
Canelo at 68. My thing is this: if you could catch up to a southpaw that's jabbing with his right, moving to his right, and you still landing the punches that you want to land. Doing that to an orthodox fighter is going to be easier. It's going to be way easier. And if he think, oh, I'm gonna go to Ward and I'm gonna go to James Toney to see about, go ahead and fight on the inside with Canelo. This fight ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna.
Listen,
If you try to fight him on the inside, this fight ain't gonna last.
I don't recommend him fight on the inside. And I would not, if I'm standing in Caleb's corner, we gonna have to work that outside and our cardio will have to be on fucking point. And I understand that's hard. You can't do that, but I'm going for rounds and I'm gonna try to dictate the action. And that's just what I see some of the strengths. His speed, his foot speed, his jab. I think he can set up his punches. I think with the Canelo high guard, he can have a lot of success with that. Now, as far as the inside, it's only situational shit because he can't do like Lara did and just run. Lara, I respect Irizlandi Lara. Lara was one of my favorite fighters. And when he fought that fight, I actually, in my humble opinion, I believe he still won. But let me finish. But the way he did and how he retreated for Canelo and never like dictated the inside action, it kind of made him look like he was just fucking running from Canelo. So,
listen, bro, JJ, you sound like you in my age group, right? I know you seen Trinidad versus De La Hoya.
Yes,
right?
I did.
And look at what happened with De La Hoya taking off just a couple of rounds. He thought that he had a lead. And he thought that, right? And listen, when I was watching the fight, I'm like, yo, Oscar winning that shit. But he took a couple of rounds off. That's all it took. Lara is not Oscar. You not
Right,
winning. You can't do that at this level on this kind of a stage. You just gonna be on your back foot tripping. Nah, you can't.
This ain't the
that.
amateurs.
Okay.
This ain't the
Okay.
Amis.
I have a question. What is Caleb Plant background? What is his? He has amateur experience, a Golden Globe tournament,
Shit.
competing for the Olympics.
I mean, he's not an Olympian. I know that. He's not. He didn't qualify. I know that. So he don't come from
Okay.
that.
Okay. People talk about Golovkin, his jab, his shin, all of that shit, his power. Dude, Golovkin went to fight 24 rounds with Canelo.
Yep.
Because he was a fucking Olympian with mad
Silver
amateur.
medalist.
Go watch
Silver
Golovkin's first
amateur.
15, 20 fights. He's fundamentally sound in a way that a lot of American boxers aren't. He's just not
It's just that
athletic
it's
and
not
quick.
flashy. It's just that
He's
it's
not
not
flashy.
flashy.
Lara the
Oh my
same.
God.
Lara the same.
Golovkin, first 15 fights. I respect Golovkin as a silver medalist. And I watched him when he came out to the GGG with the with that purple jacket shit he used to have on. And I agree with you, but you're not about to say more disciplined than Americans. And who was the
I
competition he
said
was
more
fighting at
fun. I
160?
said more fundamentally sound than these American fighters that are active right
Look.
now.
This, when I
Fundamentally
say this,
sound is discipline.
hold
That's
on.
discipline, right?
Let me say this. One thing I noticed about Golovkin when he was more of a jabber, and it was a step jab. It was a jab that he was stepping into, and his weight was behind it. Right? He never leaned over his lead foot. His chin
Right?
was always tucked. He always
Good.
kept the right hand
Perfect.
high. Like it was just. It wasn't flashy. You know what I mean? It ain't razzle dazzle. It's simple, but it's genius and it works. Like a lot of people always talked about his chin. Like, oh, he got a great bit. Well, he always keep his chin tucked. It's always tucked.
Agreed.
It's
Agreed.
always tucked. You know what I mean? Caleb, I don't see that, bro. I don't see that.
Okay, I'm glad. See, I like you. You know what you're talking about. Because I teach jab with your chin tuck. If you can jab with your chin tuck, that means if you exchange it with somebody, you're going to have your chin tuck so you can absorb the punch and still land yours.
Mm-hmm.
All these fighters that don't jab with their chin, it's just a situational jab. You don't even have it don't have to even be your jab. But somebody like Golovkin, he owned that jab and he made it effective. That's why he had a power jab because he could actually commit to his punch and affect his power while he's doing it. So I get you with that. Caleb Plant is a little more slicker. He don't really have that tuck chin jab because he depends on all other things in his arsenal, like his feet to get out and quick. So
Yes.
he got a little different style about it. And going back to the jab, I still see him with Canelo at that higher guard and Canelo upper torso movement and his feet still stationary. I can see Caleb placing the jab, if not landing the jab every time, just putting the jab in Canelo face to place his shots and pick his
Okay,
shots.
this is my point. Canelo brings not only power, speed, head movement, he brings a ton of experience. if he doesn't see a hole, he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
That is what I'm worried about. Caleb probably I don't see him going the distance because he's gonna get tagged. You don't have the experience to recuperate to think on the road. That's my opinion. You are not equipped to fight mentally with Canelo in the way Golovkin
Agreed.
was.
I want to say
Agreed.
this about Caleb's jab. I feel me right when I look at his jab that his jab is a situational jab. It's not a jab because he's flicking with it. He's not
Hmm.
committing to it. He's not stepping into it to bring over a big right hand. He's using it as a deterrent to keep a guy out or to psych a guy out. But he's not stepping into it like a Golovkin would. And I don't think that Canelo's going to be worried or apprehensive because when he does that, the guys get hesitant. They don't know if they want to throw. That's essentially the reaction that you're going for, that you want to get them worried about coming in so they don't get jabbed in their face. Canelo not worried about that. He won 24 rounds with Gennady Golovkin. He
Yeah,
not worried about that.
look what he did with Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders was bending his waist, looking to the ground all his career. Always worked. Always.
Except with
He faced
Canelo.
he faced Canelo. He plays
Bang!
a beautiful uppercut. I don't know how the fuck he timed that shit. I
Bro!
never see that. I never
Okay.
see that shit. Look,
I
are you gonna compete mentally with Canelo? Try to
agreed.
That's
win a
what I
boxing
mean.
match?
Okay. Okay.
And
I
and
like this.
and then
I love this.
Caleb going to get pointers from Ward and Tony. Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. But realistically, the muscle memory, it takes camps after camp to implement that in a real fucking
Hold
fight.
No,
on.
no, no, no,
Hold.
no,
I
no,
got
no,
you.
no, wait a minute. And I
That's
gotta say this. I gotta say this. Look, I could go to James Tony right now, right? And he could tell me all about shoulder rolls and countering off, counter uppercuts and all of that, right? James Tony was able to do what he was able to do, not just because he was a good boxer, but he was a great physical specimen. The man went up
agreed.
to heavyweight. He went up to
Yeah.
heavyweight. They couldn't knock him out. Caleb ain't that. Caleb is not
Okay.
that.
All right.
And
All right. Let me
not
defend.
only that,
Let me defend that comment. Okay. I agree with you. I think I think a little different though. I think if you're teaching your fighters situational shit, yes, they got fighters naturally adapt and do what they do naturally, especially when the pressure is on. The guy who keeps speaking on mental, that's a big part in this fight. Remember, I said if somehow Caleb can do enough to disrupt Canelo's mental fortitude and actually get Canelo fighting at his pace and Caleb keeping the range and being able to dictate, now we're talking about a different fight. Canelo does a great job of that front foot dictation and making fighters nervous, making fighters tired, changing their breathing pattern, and making dudes uncomfortable. We still got to see the fight. We still got to see the style, and he got to be able to apply it.
Look,
So
I'm
as
just
far as
saying,
look, we going look.
does Caleb have the power to
It's
dictate to
look.
Canelo?
It's that
it's not
my thing
about
is this.
power, it's
My thing
effective
is this.
punching.
It's not the power. It's not even that. Canelo has been in this situation with a better pure, and I'm gonna say it. Yes, I think Larry is a better pure boxer, bar none, than Caleb. And Canelo has been in this situation with not only a better pure boxer that's very athletic. That I
Hmm.
feel not for nothing. I've been told by someone who's been in there with Larry and all of that shit. Yo, Larry can punch, man. He can punch.
Oh,
He
without a
can
doubt,
punch.
Lowry definitely could punch. And
Now,
I
now,
would say
now
this.
let
I
me
would
let me go
argue
a
this.
step forward. Let me go a step further. I bet you that I think Lara hit harder at 54 than Plant do at 68.
Listen, you ain't got to bet me, brother, because I'm smart enough to know Lowry was more effective with his placement of his power and
Now,
how he threw his shots. So
now
I get you. I get
Canelo
you
been
when
in
you
there.
say it.
Now Canelo been in there in a situation with a pure boxer, good set of feet, got it, knows how to use the ring, knows how to place his punches with
Okay,
Lara, and he was a southpaw,
let me
right?
argue this though. See, I got an argument for that. Lowry's 5'9". Guess how tall Caleb Plant is? He's
I
6 foot.
I dig that, but he look. Height ain't gonna win him the fight. I'm just
No,
gonna
hold
say
on.
height ain't
Height,
gonna win him the fight.
height don't always guarantee you a win, but if you're using it to dictate action, it can. It's two
Look,
different things.
look.
So that's my
We
argument
saw
for that.
this weekend, bro. We saw this weekend. Anthony Joshua's taller than Usyk, longer than Usyk.
Oh my
Longer
God.
jab than Usyk, right? It was a discrepancy there.
I
You
agree.
don't. I'm like, I don't see it, bro. Like, I'm
I
just being
mean,
Okay,
I
honest.
don't.
hold
I
on.
respect what he's saying. He's right with Caleb in terms of what his advantages are. But the way you're speaking on it is like he's got to take it to decision, and we know
Yeah,
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
okay. Remember in the beginning of what I said. You know how we all. I'm gonna tell y'all this why I'm going with Caleb Plant. My brother been holding it over my head. I lost on a Teofimo. I went with Lomo. I went with Pacquiao versus Ugas. I went with Keith versus Pacquiao, and then I went with AJ versus Usyk.
Mm.
So I've been adding up all this stuff I know about boxing, and I defend my AJ and Usyk pick why I did it. And I'm like, man, why I keep going with the guy that everybody else go with just because I think it's just he's supposed to win it and what have you. I said, man, let me just start like really looking into these fights and start doing my breakdown and see what I see and pick it. And I won't go out on a limb. While everybody else saying Canelo go do this, Canelo go do that, I won't come back and for shits and giggles and be the guy that say, I told y'all Caleb
No,
had the style
I
to beat him.
respect that.
no.
I
I'm gonna say
respect
this.
that.
Look, I'm gonna say this. Look, crazier things have happened, bro. Leon Spinks beat Ali. Douglas beat Tyson. Crazier things have happened, right? I'm just telling you my mental. That's all I'm telling you. That like
Mm.
the reason that I don't see it is because of A, B, C, and D. Like I don't see it. And with Usyk, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm right there with you. I picked AJ to win, but in my gut, I knew this is a potential banana skin. B. He could slip because Usyk. The biggest thing for Usyk for me leading up to that fight is I didn't know who would manage the distance. I figured, you know what AJ's gonna do, and I thought he would be smart enough to do it. I didn't see him do it. He kept trying to jab at Usyk's head, and I'm like, yo, jab at his chest. Stop jabbing at his head.
Hmm.
He's moving it off the line. Jab at his chest and jab at his stomach because he can't keep his whole torso off the
It's
line.
a more assertive jab. It's a more assertive jab. Plus, Usyk feels his power, and he's actually dictating his size with his body,
And he
and that's
didn't
why I picked AJ as well.
he didn't. This is what I'm saying. That's why I picked. I'm like, look, I saw in the Povetkin fight. Povetkin is a good small heavyweight that knows how to stay off the line and come forward. So don't jab at his head, jab at his body. That's what AJ did. He jabbed at his body, punched him in the stomach in the early rounds. I'm like, all right, see, that's what I wanted to see. I figured he gonna bring that to this fight because this dude ain't that big neither. Nah, he fencing with him. He fencing with him. And while he fencing with him, Usyk is psyching him out with the right and throwing a lead left hand. I'm like, bro, that's why he's getting you because you don't know what to do about that lead left hand. You keep focusing on his jab hand, and he's not committing to it. He's not stepping into it, but you keep fucking looking at it. That's
You,
I didn't know
you know
what
what
was
pissed me
gonna
off?
happen with
You know
that.
what pissed me off about that fight? When you brought it up because we just been talking about it, and I ain't always been the biggest AJ fan, but I was kind of pissed off like as a coach is watching. I said, what the fuck and what adjustments did they think? How you gonna come out here and have AJ one bringing his tucking down behind the high guard that he's not that fluent out of? You gotta be real fluent with your punches. I give y'all an example like Virgil Ortiz. He works real good behind the high guard.
Yes, he does.
Like somebody like that. AJ is too methodical and not fluid enough to try to fight like that. Then you got him bringing his and giving up his height and his size to try to outbox a guy that can clearly move comfortably going backwards. And when I'm looking at the game plan, I said, okay, maybe they trying to do this to wear him down. Then he gonna start forcing his size or putting his power in front of him to insert his frame.
I
And they
seen him.
never did that.
I
They
seen them
never did it.
changing levels. I seen them changing, and it wasn't the changing levels that bothered. Like I thought, yeah, he's gonna change levels because he's gonna have a different variation of his jab. He'll jab at his head
Mhm.
maybe once or twice, but he'll jab at his chest. He didn't do that, and I'm like,
Agreed.
look, he didn't, and that's what I'm like, yo, they gotta know that, like, bro, you not gonna hit this man in his head with no jab right hand. You not. If you jab at his chest and touch him in his chest, then maybe you could bring over that right hand. It might be a looping right hand, but then you could bring it over. You're not going to touch him in his face with a fucking jab. He spent the whole fight fencing, and jabbing
It,
at his. I'm like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah, it
Like,
was one of those things where you don't know what you're facing till you're actually in there. And they were
I
in there with a superior boxer and superior athlete that was not no old ass Povetkin that can't move.
Yeah,
And
and
who this is?
I
Who
want
this
to
is
add, I
talking
want to
sorry
add
shit
what the
about your
last guy
name? Who that
said,
is?
man. Can I interrupt
Who
real
just
quick?
said that?
Yeah, me. Ring IQ. This is my second
Okay.
topic
Well,
that I wanted
hey,
to bring
IQ,
up to
like
you.
I was trying to say the guy name who just spoke. Um, IQ, another thing that you said like the jab to the chest and what have you. The fight plan was all off, and
Yes.
I heard that they kind of was going back and forth with the fight plan too. That was brought to my knowledge from the trainers and stuff like that. One of the guys would was more focused on trying to outbox and what have you. And just AJ, you can't fight a style that you're not comfortable with fighting and going in a fight. AJ at some point was supposed to use the
It's
intimidation
it's a
factor.
cliche. It's a cliche in boxing. I'm sure you've heard it. Box with the puncher, punch with the boxer. If he's the boxer, you be the puncher. If he's the
Right.
puncher, you be the boxer.
And see, you gotta
He
be
chose to
skilled enough.
box with the boxer.
Right. You gotta be skilled enough also to know how to do that. If you 6'5", 6'6", and the guy's 6'2", 6'3", which was pretty much their height dimensions, you gotta learn how to insert your power and place your shots to where they're effective. If I got Usyk moving around just a little more jerrily, I'm like Deary, like he a little more uncomfortable and a little more uncertain. What that does is add doubt and it makes Usyk work harder and think harder. AJ never applied himself or put himself on front foot dominant enough to even assert his height, his
Listen,
size, or his power,
it was in
which
the
never.
first round. It was in the first round. And I said it probably about 3 times in this live. The first power shot in the first round was a lead left hand, and that told the story. Like, yo, you're not going to counter that lead left hand. Like, you're not going to get at him. He just punched you in your face. That's when Usyk realized, like, yo, I could lay in this shit all night, because
Mhm.
he not responding. Like, he took the shot and then he got back on his jab and started fencing again. So you scared to let the right
Agreed.
hand go.
That
The
was kind
next,
of, oh my god, that was kind of pathetic on AJ performance. It just this guy done got to this level, and respect to Usyk.
no, listen. I'm gonna say
It's
somebody
not
told him to
pathetic,
box.
but you got to give Usyk his credit. He dominated and took the game away from AJ.
He took the
It's not
game away,
pathetic.
but
But all right, let me ask you
what
this.
was the game?
Let me ask you yeah,
They told him
exactly,
to box this dude. Like, who told you to
exactly.
box
That's
this
the
dude?
problem. That's what I'm saying. I respect Usyk. Don't think because I'm one sided, what have you. But this is what I was telling somebody earlier. If you can say you don't feel like AJ left a lot of shit on the table and left a lot of shit and left shit out a lot of shit out that fight, then go ahead and just give it to Usyk. But AJ just clearly went in there like he left a lot of shit. He could have did a lot more to even make that fight challenging. And I still think in the second fight, if he does have it and he does implement these things, we can see a different fight.
I
Listen,
agree with what you're
first,
saying, but an hour ago I told Ring when it comes down to it, all the training, all the game plan shit, Usyk's CPU and how he processes information in a live fight and how to adjust is quicker than AJ's. He's better at making decisions. All that stuff was there in front of AJ. He just couldn't pull the trigger. He couldn't do it quick enough to counter what Usyk was doing.
let me
What
read
if
the super chats. Let me read the
okay.
super chats because they piling up. Plant would have to go inside and lower than Canelo, then get out. He cannot stay inside more than a moment, and his IQ just isn't there. Real dude rising. Let me see the next one. Jaime says, I didn't expect Usyk to win, Julius, but I feel it's different because Usyk is way more accomplished than. That's the same thing I feel that, like, dog, Usyk and Caleb is just in very different places as amateurs, as professionals. Like, bro,
Agreed.
the dude is a gold medalist. The dude was an undisputed cruiser. You gotta, like, Jay. Jay. The dude going to other
Hmm.
people country, winning decisions. That's different than Caleb. Like, nah. Looking at that AJ fight, I knew there's a chance AJ will lose. With Caleb and Canelo, I don't feel that. Let me read the next one. Real Dude Uprising says it was a mess. The smaller fighter was allowed to fight. Yes, he was allowed to fight on the outside and was dominating from the
Exactly.
outside. Spoke volumes on AJ Lack. Yes, because I felt stupid watching the fight because in the video I did about the fight, I said, bro, Usyk can't stay on the outside. He is sitting duck because I'm thinking AJ going to step into his jab. He going to straighten out his
Yeah.
arm, step into his jab, and bring over a right. Nah, he got back to fencing. When he'll get popped in the face, instead of jumping on Usyk, he'll back up and then get back on his jab and start
He
fencing.
started resetting himself, which I don't see. If you're the bigger guy, you got to force the action. And like you said, you got to get. Sometimes you got to get some take. I even wanted AJ at times to just bump him. Don't be a gentleman. Rough him up a little bit to let him know you in there with a bigger guy, and you have to back your ass up all night. But AJ just too fucking nice, man. Like that game plan was fucking horrible.
Honestly,
Okay, okay.
I don't know if it's his temperament or if I'm starting to lean towards. Now, this is what they told him to do. They told this guy, you don't go in there and just be fencing unless somebody told you to do that. And I don't know why they told you to do that because yo, dog. Somebody said
Do,
it on Twitter.
Jules, what if they told him to do that? Because when with what you said about his gas tank can't do the opposite.
do,
I dig that, but you, this is a 12-round fighter. 12-round fighter, right? Biggest moments of his career have been 12-round fights. The one thing he's not accustomed to is a 240-pound man punching him in his face. He is not used to that. You got the and in the beginning, I thought, now AJ will use his size up until I saw he was slimming down and he's fit and trim and he's not carrying as much muscle. I'm like, okay, so this guy's training for a 12-round fight. So your plan is to outbox him?
okay. Do you know what I feel? I feel AJ came up to the ring expecting a guy like Lomachenko when he fought Tio. A
Hmm.
guy,
He was expecting Joseph Parker. That's what he was expecting with the way he went out there and fought. He thought he was
No,
going to
no,
fight
no,
Joseph
no,
Parker
no. That
again.
guy was right. The guy was right with the no, because Joseph Parker was actually boxing. Lomachenko was keeping his hands in his pocket for the first few rounds, and Tio was able to steal them rounds off of athleticism, quickness, and just being a bigger puncher. So I agree with the guy was about to the point the guy was about to make with the Lomachenko fight.
But I even said that too. But AJ is not the athlete Teal was to keep up with Loma's dance and angles and moving and quickness of the hands. So someone said T should in
uh,
a rematch AJ should fight Usyk like Teal fought Loma, but he physics of his
what
size will not allow him to do
I
that.
what I mean is AJ, for me, AJ thought that Usyk was going to be more wary of his power,
Mm-hmm. That's I agree.
much more,
I
and
agree.
Usyk stayed right in front of him all fight.
And see, listen, yeah, I exactly agree with you. And I'll say this to the guy who say he can't fight like Teal. You ain't got to fight like Teal, but that don't mean you can have the same results. AJ could have did things in there to force the action, place the jab at his chest, or just put himself in his frame and his size to where it was dictating the action, to where he was concerned about AJ, but AJ was too much on that movement, bobbing, resetting. Like,
Listen, I
why
saw.
is
And
the
and
bigger guy
and
resetting?
that goes to my
Wait,
point that AJ in the milliseconds it takes to recognize in between inside the round to adjust, he doesn't do that.
no, I'm gonna say
Agreed.
that. No, he
Agreed.
look. I saw AJ get popped in the face and hold center ring instead of getting on the little man, and that's why I feel like they was telling you to do that. They told you to come in here and box because why the fuck are you still in the center of the ring if you just ate a lead left hand? Anybody like if that's Crawford, y'all know what happened when you land a
Yo,
clean punch on Crawford. If you land a clean punch on Crawford, he's all over you after that. He's not going to leave you alone. AJ, you just went back to the center of the ring.
they
Wow.
did they ran this they did a fight strategy. This is what I saw from how he fought. And I'm only speculating what I saw in my perception. They gave this dude a football play and he ran it to the fucking T. He did not deviate, he didn't adjust. Like if you get hit in a fight, if I get hit doing something and I don't like it, I'm going to get aggressive, either effectively, or something's going to change to where you're going to feel the fact that I felt that. And like you said with Bud, when Bud do get hit clean, Bud get his shit back and what have you. And AJ never he never changed that. That's what I'm talking about. Like the mentality, he's too nice. He didn't try to rough him up. He should have had the referee tell him not to push the dude around the fucking ring or something. Like you got to do these things just to change up the breeding pattern of Usyk so you can challenge him and make him nervous, which he never did.
Again, that goes
let
back
me
to my point. Like AJ is not. We know he has heart. He came back in the Klitschko fight. My point is he is not a quarterback. He doesn't know how to audible like a quarterback at the line. He needs the coaches to dictate everything for him. He's a system quarterback.
let me
He's
let me
not
read the
Patrick
super.
Mahomes.
Let me.
Doesn't he remind you of Wilder in the sense that they were both like freak athletes who started boxing late, and as soon as they fought like a boxer type of guy, they crumbled?
Hell
What?
no.
Hold on.
What?
Let me
Hold
wait.
on.
Let me
Okay.
read the super. Let me read the super chats. Boxing judges so corrupt. Even had Julius scoring the 6'6" or 7'5" AJ. Maybe having 7 judges isn't a bad idea. I look, man. Hold on, because I gotta find Jaime's super chat. Jaime sent me another super chat. I'm trying to find it. Yo, Julius, you missed my. I tried to find it, bro. I don't see it. What I'm gonna say is this. Look. What I'm gonna say is this. I do believe that after the Ruiz fight, being counted like that to the temple, it's made him a little bit gun shy. I do believe that because he didn't try to use his size at all. He really didn't. Like he wasn't stepping into his jab. He was just flicking with it, and then he reset, get back to his position, hold the center of the ring. He wasn't fighting like a big man. Maybe to Sancho's point and to the point I made earlier, maybe the reason they did that is because they was trying to conserve energy. They know that he don't got the gas tank for a sustained attack. They're like, if he really go for it and he don't knock the dude out, he gonna be in trouble after that. So like, nah, don't do that. You gonna burn through your energy. Just hold the center of the ring and make him come to you. That's what it looked like. But we see that shit didn't work. So you got to do something else. I'm gonna ask Jay, what he got to do differently in the rematch?
What he got to do differently in a rematch, and I'm a little stuck on that Wilder comment. I'm trying to just stay on your question because it kind of caught me off guard when he
I want you
compared.
to go back to it. I want to hear your opinion on that too.
Okay, all right. What he got to do in the rematch is he definitely that means they didn't train him correctly. If he stays stuck on that one game plan, I sadly say they didn't prepare AJ. AJ for his next fight. With the time off, he needs to really start switching up certain game plans. If they want to implement that and keep that going and they see the success in it, don't take it all the way out his fighting style. Just add it to his game plan and make it situational. But he does need to work on pushing and challenge his breathing to where he could get comfortable going forward. He's fighting a smaller guy. At some point, a smaller guy that's quicker, that moves his feet well, at some point he's going to have to oppose his size, frame, will, and power, and he's going to have Usyk to have
Look, if
Usyk.
anything, call Klitschko, jab, clinch. Lean on him. Use your size. Just lean
Right.
on him.
And listen, and put him
Squeeze him.
in the next camp. They need to put him in a situation to where he's getting that breathing, meaning he's learning how to think like that and know when to do it. And it's very situational. If it's for 10 seconds of a round, if it's for 15, they have to get him in shape to where he's mentally prepared to strategically know when to adjust, know when to do it, know when he got to put some pressure on Usyk. If they go work and go for a late stoppage, they gotta work this into existence, and AJ can actually steal rounds off of that and what have you.
That's how. Hey, listen, that's how Vlad did it. I got good news for you, Jay. According to James Jackson, Victor Conti says he has a special mix for Plant. You might be right. He might have the Panama Red mix. You never know.
Hey, what do we say about guys like Floyd, guys like Pernell Whitaker, Usyk, in fight adjustment on the fly?
That's
right?
a once in a lifetime fighter, bro. Like,
and what I'm saying is, you guys are asking AJ to deviate from a game plan in a millisecond when he's never had to do that and never shown the capability of doing that.
It's the elite brother. He gonna have to, or he just not gonna.
What I'm saying is he hasn't shown you he can do that.
I mean, look. This is the difference.
And you can't replicate that. You can't replicate that in a 2 to 3 month camp and expect that to be
look. This is why we watch. Look. When Hasim Rahman knocked out Lennox, right? It was real easy for everybody to write off Lennox after that.
Exactly.
It was real easy. That same year, he went after Rahman. Now, he didn't do that with McCall. I talked about McCall, that he fought McCall in 94, and he didn't see him again until 97. By then, Frank Bruno had beat McCall. But with Rahman, I meant that was after the McCall fights. It was
Mm-hmm.
easy to say. It was easy to say that, man, you're gonna get knocked out again. You gonna get knocked out again, and he got that back. So this is
But
why
Ring
we
IQ, Ring
watch.
IQ. Wouldn't you say the Rockman was a lucky punch, or it
No,
was
that was a
more of a
beautiful.
No,
lucky
That was a
punch?
beautiful one too. That was a beautiful.
But
Look,
it's
bruh,
like he
But
taunted him. He
Lennox
taunted him, and he
Lennox
paid for it.
overlooked him.
you
Lennox was
can't
busy
take
Yeah.
filming
you
Ocean's
can't take
11,
luck,
and he wasn't checking for Rockman. That
bruh.
was
Listen,
Lennox's
in
fault. He caught
fighting,
lightning in a bottle.
when
yeah.
fighting happens, it's not you can't put everything on luck in a fight. Cause let's just say uh I'm bigger than Julius, and Julius is faster than me, and what have you. And I'm just working on him. I'm working on him. He constantly getting tired going back. And I'm just baiting him. I'm baiting him so I could catch him with the clean shot. I'm leaning on him and what have you. You can't just say when I catch him, oh, I caught him, he outboxing me, he moving on me, he's styling on me. And then when I catch him with a lucky shot, what about all the shit I did to get that shot? Like you can't
Yep.
No,
just
no, no,
take
no.
that
You know
away
why?
from
I'm
me.
gonna tell you why I don't believe in lucky shots because of muscle memory. All right,
Yeah,
But
you did that shot. That's a shot that you trained yourself. That look, if I see the shot, I'm gonna take it.
yep.
Rockman saw the shot,
Ring
and it's
IQ,
not
Ring
luck.
IQ. Lennox knew that he was leagues ahead of Rockman. He always knew that even before the training camp. He
Bro,
hated himself for getting caught there.
That's a part of the
that's a
fight.
poor man's excuse for getting knocked the
But
fuck
let
out.
me
No,
tell you
it's
the
no
difference.
lucky shots in boxing, bro.
I,
Everything is muscle memory. If you are foolish enough to afford me the opportunity to land that jab right hand, no, I'm not lucky. You're dumb. I'm not
let me
lucky.
tell you the main
But then
difference
it
between.
goes back to your point of AJ not being able to be ready. Usyk is not Ruiz. He needs to go to Oliver McCall route and wait a little before he goes back to that fire.
Hey, that's listen. That's I
If, I,
said
if I'm
that
going
shit.
by
Again,
I
your
said
logic,
that shit. I said that shit a couple of times. And look, I don't let people pressure you into a situation that you don't really want. If you don't feel you have it for this guy, let him have that. Just let him have it. B. He won. He was a better fighter
I
than me,
agree with that.
and I
I
need
agree
to
with that.
work on things. Like, don't let nobody force you to fight a fight that you know right here. You ain't got it for that fight, bro.
And maybe he need
Ring
to work on
IQ.
these things. Maybe he need to work
I'll,
on these things against lesser competition. So I totally agree with that. I just didn't think AJ would take the chance of not being able to redeem himself right away and let that belts possibly get exchanged
Look,
in somebody else's hands.
you know why I don't knock him? Because if you everything in boxing, like what I don't like about boxing fans is for as much history as it is in boxing, they don't fucking use it. When Ali came from the exile and Joe beat him, it would have been easy to write him off, right? But we know the story. We know the whole story. We know he beat Foreman. We know that. You know what I mean? And everybody keep looking at shit like, oh yeah, it's just about. No, it's not just about right now. It's a chance he could get it back. We don't have the answers now. But what I'm thinking is he looked like a guy that gets rushed into situations. He looked like he
Hmm.
let the pressure get to him to where he feel like, nah, I got to get it back. No, no. The guy you looked up to, Lennox Lewis, he didn't run it back with motherfucking McCall right away. They didn't fight for 3 years and 4 fights. So if you feel you need time, take your time. Boxing ain't going nowhere. It's going to be here when you get back.
The only thing
there's a
is
precedence for getting it back. If you look at the predecessors, there's a blueprint to follow. Like you said with McCall, if you know the dude's tough and like I got to work, I got to add some wrinkles to my game. It's okay to take a year or two between the rematch.
Ali didn't fight Joe in the rematch straight away. He didn't fight Joe again till after the Foreman fight.
And
So
I
it's
said it.
like
I said it earlier. It's okay. AJ's what 31, Usyk's 35. It's okay if he gets Usyk at 37, 38
now
and
let
gets
me
it
read
Usyk
the
back.
say he go get Usyk with the belts again. Like, see, I was about to say the only thing I disagree with you guys on, it's kind of the pressure is there. Only, and I can think maybe stalling it because they got all kind of ways where they can just buy time. AJ can fake it. Like they do it any fucking way. All right. What I'm saying is them belts makes it kind of like how long do AJ go without trying to redeem himself with them belts because Usyk can move on if he doesn't get the rematch and possibly fight Fury or Wilder winner if he does want to go that route and what have you. But that's the only thing I would say that he just can't take his time because he may not get that get back.
Nah. Look, first, let me read the super chats. Those trainers did what Wilder did. You're so strong and didn't give him any polish or extra tools. His time just being the
Exactly.
big fighter is over. What else? Jaime says, "Yo, what up, J Mac? I like your boxing knowledge. You know your shit. But the reason Lara started running is because yes, he didn't like the body shots. That is why he started moving because he
Your
didn't like
mic
the body
tripping.
shots.
Your
Mine,
mic tripping again.
mine.
Yeah, you kind of got a strange echo.
Hold on, let me take this shit out. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right. That is true though. That's why Lara started moving because of the body shots. Vladdy V says AJ got to step on the gas every other round to save some stamina. Keep Usyk at bay, maybe score a KO or have a better chance on the cards. That's another strategy. Like, look, come at him fast, hard, and heavy in the first round. Maybe you take off the second round and you repeat it in the third what you did in the first. Because I can tell you right now, AJ don't got the gas tank for no sustained attack. He don't have it. If he go for it and Usyk ain't knocked out, he gonna be tired. The same way he was tired with Vlad.
let me correct something. He said the reason why Lara moved because he's not a good inside fighter. And if you really watch Lara always struggled with fight on the inside. His bread and butter was catching at the end of them 76-inch 76 centimeter arm reach. Because I think that was Lara. He had some long ass arms and he had some good pop behind his 1-2. So aside from Canelo catching up with him on the body and he not being able to keep Canelo at the end of his punches, but Canelo is good enough to get on the inside once you back up against the rope. Lara didn't have no inside fight to just switch it up and then pivot out or anything. He just had to run to the street.
Well, look, gentlemen, I'm old and sleepy, and this has been a great talk. J Mac, you're welcome to come back and chop it up, and we'll see what happens with Caleb, but I don't like his chances. This was a great talk. We finally talked some boxing, not some politics, not some propaganda, not some gossips, some actual boxing. So you're welcome to come back. Everybody, always a pleasure. I'm old. I'm going to sleep.
All right, y'all.
All right, take it easy.